A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Company presents The Ginny Simms Show with Frank DeVol and his orchestra, the Borden Chorus, ex-serviceman Bud Brees, myself, Kenny Delmar, filling in for Don Wilson, and Ginny's guest tonight, Eddie Cantor. Now here's the star of our show, lovely Ginny Simms.
Last night I met the nicest boy a gal could ever meet. The moment that he touched my hand, he swept me off my feet. And as I fell, I soon could tell I had him falling too. And even though it was a dream, I don't mind telling you. One more dream, and he's mine. One more dream, and he's mine. 40 winks, and methinks he'll be mine. Had him hooked, things looked fine, but he slipped off the line. One more dream, and he's mine. I went to bed at 8 o'clock and tried to go to sleep. I dimmed the light and pulled the shade and started counting sheep. I counted several thousand head and fell asleep, but say, I couldn't find that man of mine. The sheep were in the way.
One more dream,
and he's mine, and he's mine. One more dream, and he's mine. One good dose, he'll propose and be mine. There we were, arm in arm, then I heard the alarm. One more dream,
one more dream,
one more dream, and he's mine. Hello, everyone. Well, tonight our Borden show is coming to you from New York City. It's very nice being here and meeting so many old friends again, and especially that grand comedian who's here with us tonight, Eddie Cantor.
Thank you, Ginny. It's nice to see you again.
So, you know, Eddie, things surely have changed since I was in New York last. Why, the day I got here, Mayor LaGuardia left office.
Yeah. And the little flower was a great mayor. You know, I'm really going to miss his counsel and advice. I really am.
Oh, was he a personal friend of yours?
No, but now who's going to read me what happens to B.O. Plenty?
Oh, well, New York is a great city, Eddie. But I'm having a little trouble getting used to this cold weather.
You call this cold weather?
Mm-hmm.
Tell her. Ginny, you should have been here 2 weeks ago. It was so cold on Governor's Island, 6 colonels were demoted to second lieutenants.
Oh, they were?
Yeah, the eagles on their shoulders flew south for the winter.
Well, Eddie, are you going to be in New York for the winter?
Oh, no, not for the whole winter. Just to the 21st of January, when my show, Nellie Bly, opens at the Adelphi Theater here in New York.
Oh, that's right, Eddie. I hear you're quite a producer. Is this your first big production?
Ginny, remember I have 5 daughters.
See Eddie a little later on. During the weeks our Borden show was in Hollywood, we were fortunate in getting jobs for quite a few recently discharged servicemen. We received a great many letters from talented GIs here in the East, and now that we're here, we're anxious to help as many of them as we can to reestablish themselves in their professional careers. In our first Eastern auditions, we had a fine showing of talent. Outstanding in the group was the fine baritone voice of a handsome Brooklyn boy, Corporal Bud Brees, formerly of the Army Air Forces. Come on out and meet the folks, Bud.
Jenny.
Say, Bud, you were in the China-Burma-India Theater of War for 15 months, weren't you?
Yes, I was with the Air Transport Command. We made 10 trips over the hump.
Why, that doesn't sound like a picnic. Did you run into any trouble?
Well, our C-47 did crack up once, but we were lucky enough to get out okay.
Sounds pretty exciting.
Yes, but the biggest kick I think I'll ever have in my life, Jenny, came in Burma. Our entertainment unit entertained the boys of the famous Mars Task Force. They were just back from 4 months behind Jap lines.
I'll bet they certainly appreciated your show.
Yes, Jenny, there was an audience I'll never forget.
Say, tell me, Bud, how did you come to take up singing in the first place?
Well, my sister's a singer, Jenny.
Oh?
When I was about 13, she took me to a radio studio with her. Well, when nobody was looking, I got up before a live mic and started singing.
How'd you make out?
I guess they liked it. They offered me a job as a boy soprano.
Oh, no, boy soprano.
Yes, but it didn't last long. I woke up one morning and found I was a baritone.
I see. Well, I know that things must have turned out all right, Bud, because just before you went in the Army, you were singing with Paul Barron's orchestra. Is that right?
Well, Jenny, that's the kind of work I like best.
I certainly enjoyed your singing in our auditions this week, and I want the folks to hear you now.
Okay, Jenny.
Do it for us.
How much do I love you? I'll tell you no lie. How deep is the ocean? How high is the sky? How many times a day do I think of you? How many roses are sprinkled with dew? How far would I travel to be where you are? How far is the journey from here to a star? If I ever lost you, how much would I cry? How deep is the ocean? How high is the sky?
Really beautiful, Bud. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know about Bud's new job. I talked to George Thomas Cullen, the manager of the Mayflower Hotel in Akron, Ohio, this afternoon, and Bud starts to work there in the terrace room, on January 7th. Isn't that fine?
Jenny, I call this a pretty swell break for a Brooklyn boy. No kidding.
Well, I'm sure that you'll go over big at the Mayflower, Bud. The very best of luck to you. And now for appearing on our Borden show tonight, here's $100 in cash, your radio salary. And I know that you like to fly, so there's a plane ticket to Akron, Ohio.
Well, thanks again, Jenny, and good night.
Good night and good luck to you. Let us hear from you.
Oh, excuse me. I got a telegram here from Miss Ginny Sims.
I'll take it.
Get them dusty digits off it, Bud. You ain't Ginny Sims.
I'm Jenny Sims. What is it?
Well, I got here a singing telegram from Don Wilson in Hollywood. I will now render it at you. Me. I missed you so that I could scream-o when you left dear old Califino. When you came back, oh, what a dream-o, you and I and a glass of hemo. It's made by Borden's. It's delicious and nutritious. It's that ever-loving hee-hemo drink. Sign here.
Oh, that's the oddest telegram I've ever heard.
Well, not at all, Ginny. That Don Wilson must be a wonderful, sweet, sentimental guy to send a wire like that.
Well, sentimental.
Well, certainly. He knows the way to a girl's heart. He knows that hemo has a newer, richer, mild chocolate flavor. He just wants you to know that delicious hemo is even more delicious. It's extra rich with chocolate. I think it was very thoughtful of Don.
You want I should sing it again?
No, I don't think that's necessary.
But, lady, I'm reeking with vocal ability. I once sang the lead in an operetta, The Golden Peacock.
The Golden Peacock?
Yeah, I came out dressed in gold and silver feathers, webbed feet, and a bill 5 feet long. I resemble nothing so much as a beautiful bird.
How did you make out?
I laid an egg. Just think, if that show had been a hit, I might have been rich.
What?
Might have been rich.
No, you mean vitamin rich. Hemo is not only vitamin rich. It's also mineral rich. According to United States nutritionists, 2 glasses of Hemo made with milk supply a full day's need of these vital vitamins, A, B1, B2, D, and niacin. And these minerals, iron, phosphorus, and calcium.
Well, all I know is I'm suspicious of this here telegram. This guy Wilson signed it in some secret code.
A secret code?
Yeah, it says, Don Wilson, did to go ahead.
Did to go ahead?
D-T-G-O-H-E-D, did to go ahead.
Oh, no. D-T-G-O-H-E-D means drink 2 glasses of Hemo every day.
I might have known.
Hemo tastes swell, and it's swell for you. And remember, hot Hemo is a perfect cold weather beverage.
Well, I gotta leave now. I got lots of wires to deliver.
Yeah, wait a minute. I've been thinking that's an awful funny uniform for a telegraph boy.
Oh, I'm just wearing this uniform temporarily.
Temporarily?
Yeah, I'm on terminal leave from the Confederate Army. So long.
I shall be loving you through all eternity. But if you don't believe me, wait and see. My heart will still be true when stars on high have flickered out like little candles in the sky. And when the evergreen has withered on the bough, I still will feel the same as I do now. These little words I know can never show how true I'll be. But if you don't believe me, just you wait and
Well, Ginny, that was very nice. You know, you're one of my favorite singers.
Oh, thank you, Eddie. Coming from the producer of Nellie Bly, I consider that quite a compliment.
Yes, I'm a producer now, but don't get me wrong. Just because I'm a producer doesn't mean I'm a wolf, you know.
Oh, no, Eddie. You're more of a kangaroo wolf.
I don't get kangaroo wolf?
Uh-huh.
What's that?
A wolf with a pouch.
Ginny, that is no pouch. I've been eating in such swanky places lately, my stomach has a swelled head, that's all. But that's the trouble with being a producer. You see, most people think a producer is a guy with 15 telephones who chases girls. If you and Kenny will help me, I'll show you what people actually think goes on in the producer's office. Ready? Ready? We go. All right. Come in.
Good morning, Master.
Oh, it's you, Delmar.
Yes, Master. I brought you the results of our most beautiful girl in the world contest, in the country contest.
Yes.
The judges are divided. Some say the girls are prettiest in the east, and some say the girls are prettiest in the west.
Nonsense. As far as I'm concerned, girls are pretty all over. Take your time. It's a half-hour program.
Well, anyway, Master, the winners of the contest are waiting to see you.
Uh-huh.
You promised to give them all jobs, remember?
All right. Send the first one in.
I'll get her, oh great tycoon. This way, Miss Simmons.
Hello.
Come in, honey.
Oh, you must be Eddie Cantor, the greatest producer and entertainer in show business today.
That's a very pretty speech, miss. Where did you get it from?
It's printed on your door.
You left out Notary Public. But let's get down to the interview.
Mr. Cantor, do you have a part for me in your new play?
Yes, sit right down and we'll talk it over.
Thank you. Do you know I'm sitting on your lap?
You are? Small world, isn't it, huh?
Mr. Cantor, are you married?
Well,
are you married?
No, but I'm engaged in a very big way. Now, regarding your part... Excuse me, the phone. Hello? What? What's that? You wish your boss would use Trouche lotion on his hands? They're all chapped and rough. You can't stand it? Okay, I'll tell him.
Who was that?
Elsie the cow. Now, Miss Simmons, about your part in my play, I want to ask you some questions. Do you have any acting ability?
None.
Can you dance?
No.
Can you sing?
No, I have nothing to offer.
Silly girl. Now, miss, I'm quite sure I can use you in Nellie Bly.
Oh, Mr. Cantor, thank you very much.
Why, that's quite all right, my dear, but before you go, there's something I have to tell you.
Yes?
Well, I'm your producer, and I've just given you your first big part, and you want to be a success on Broadway, don't you, honey?
Oh, yes.
Well, honey...
But, Mr. Cantor...
I'm sorry, honey, but there's no way of getting around it.
But...
But that's all right, honey. You're not the only one. Everyone's got to join the Actors' Equity Association. Well, Ginny Sims, that's the way people think a Broadway producer acts. But now I want to show you what kind of a producer I really am. I'm sitting in my office when my assistant enters. Sounds like Jack Benny going in to change a $50.
Hey, Eddie.
What is it, Kenny?
Them cleaning women want to get in here.
Don't tell me they're going to clean my office again.
No, they want to get their brooms.
You mean I rented a broom closet?
Certainly. What did you think that mop was standing in the corner?
That's a mop? Holy smokes, I just signed it to a 2-year contract. I thought it was Hildegard.
Well, anyhow, there's a chorus girl outside to see you.
Is she, pretty?
I'll say, oh, boy.
Well, in that case, you better stay in the room with us. I don't want to be alone with a beautiful girl. Oh, what a liar I am.
Right this way, miss.
Hey, how's about letting me have a job in your show, Bub? How's about it, huh? What do you say, kid? Give us a job, will you, hey? I moited him in Jersey, I did. I moited him.
Greer Garson. Say, miss.
Yeah, I suppose you want to see my gams, hey?
Your gams. Your gams, and they ain't hay. Listen, oh, no, you don't. No, don't you show me your legs. No, you don't. You are in the office of Eddie Cantor.
But, Mr. Cantor...
Now, please. The last girl who came in here, I ordered out of my office. She had on a much too revealing outfit.
What was she wearing?
Open-toe shoes. Isn't that cuticle?
Well, aren't you going to give me a job, or aren't you?
Well, I don't know. Do you have any acting ability?
Why, sure.
Can you dance?
Certainly.
Can you sing?
Of course.
She learned awfully fast, didn't she?
What about my job, hey?
What about an audition?
I'll put on my bathing suit and sing by the sea, by the sea, by the beautiful sea. See?
Well, if you're going to sing in a bathing suit, I'm going in that closet.
Why? Are you bashful?
Bashful nothing. That's where I keep my binoculars, see?
Waiting for the train to come in. Waiting for my man to come home. I've counted every minute of the livelong day. Been so melancholy since he went away. I've shed 1,000,000 teardrops or more. Waiting for the one I adore. I'm waiting in the depot by the railroad track, looking for the choo-choo train that brings him back. I'm waiting for my life to begin, waiting for for the train to come in.
Waiting for the train
To come in.
waiting for my gal
To come home.
I counted every minute of the livelong day. Been so melancholy since he went away.
I've shed a million teardrops or more.
Or less.
Waiting for the one I adore.
Yes, yes.
I'm waiting in the depot by the railroad track, looking for the choo-choo train that brings him back. I'm waiting for my life to begin. Waiting for the train to come in. To come in.
Oh, Ginny, that's wonderful the way you put over a song.
Oh, you're very gracious, Eddie, because after all, you've been singing songs for 35 years.
Ginny, not so loud. People would think I'm as old as Jack Benny. I'm not, you know.
Oh, no?
Of course not. Old as Jack Benny. I'm much older.
But, Eddie, you have more pep than a lot of young fellas I know. Where do you get your energy?
I'll let you in on a little secret, kid. I get plenty of sleep. Plenty of it. Some mornings I don't get up out of my oxygen tent till 11 o'clock.
Oh, you're kidding.
Of course I am. Just give me a chair and let Papa sit down and tell you all about it. The same old canter, the same old tune, but that old ballad, he doesn't croon. He's much too tired and uninspired for making whoopee. I used to kiss each girl I'd see. Now when I meet one, I turn and flee. I'm through with kissing. That urge is missing for making whoopee. I used to go to dances and glide through every waltz. Now I'm home with rolled up pantses, both feet in Epsom salts. I used to croon and roll my eyes, but now girls go for other guys. Unlike Sinatra, I'm not so hotra at making whoopee. My muscles ache, I feel like heck. My knees are shaky, I am a wreck. My eyes are glassy, I look like Lassie from making whoopee. I used to be footloose and free. Then I met Ida. She said to me, you've simply got to put a stop to making whoopee. When you've made too much whoopee, you'll find it leaves you flat. Whoopee can make you droopy. Georgie Jessel will tell you that. I may be tired, I may be slow, but Mr. Borden, he pays me dough. I still can get work on any network for making whoopee.
Popular song of a few years back and found that its melody recaptured an almost forgotten picture of love and romance. I hope this ballad holds a pleasant memory for you. You came along from out of nowhere.
took my heart and found it free. Wonderful dreams, wonderful schemes from nowhere made every hour sweet as a flower for me. If you should go back to your nowhere, leaving me with a memory, I'll always wait for your return out of nowhere, hoping you'll bring your love to me. If you should go back to your nowhere, leaving me with a memory, I'll always wait for your return out of nowhere, hoping you'll bring your love to me. You came to me from out of
Thank you very much, folks. It's been fun being here. We're a little late, so good night, everybody.
Good night.
Eddie Cantor appeared through the courtesy of Bristol
Wherever
Myers.
you are.
This is Kenny Delmar, and this is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The new Duz brings you The Guiding Light, created by Erna Phillips. The house is unusually quiet this evening, isn't it, Meta? And you're somewhat restless. At the moment, you regret that you told your housekeeper to take a few days off while Ted and Chucky were away on a camping trip. You finished all the routine things a woman does before retiring. Yes, you brushed your hair, creamed your face. Now you're lying in bed trying to read. Minutes pass. You hear the old grandfather clock in the hall strike the hour. And then your eyes close. But your troubled thoughts are not lost in sleep. They find expression in distorted dreams.
I've never been here before. It's so high. Too high. Chucky, don't go near the edge. Chucky, don't go near the edge. Hold on to Mother's hand, Chucky. Please hold on to Mother's hand. If you don't, you'll fall. If you don't, you'll fall. Chucky? Chucky? Chucky!
You're awake now, Maida. Frightened. Frightened of what? You don't know. But tonight, fear has taken possession of you. Fear for your child. Fear that will not leave you for months to come. In the high Sierras, a child who should have been asleep hours ago lies awake on a camp cot, wondering if he should awaken his father. Dare he awaken his father? We'll learn more about this shortly.
For white washes without red hands, I've gone back to Does.
Yes, for white washes without red hands, the swing is back to Does. Does everything in your wash and does right by your hands.
I didn't think about my hands when I started experimenting with some of those no-rinse powders, those chemical products, but my hands couldn't take it. So now I've gone back to Does. Does gives me white washes without red hands.
Is a pair of red hands the price you're paying for doing your wash? Then use Does for your next wash. Inspect your clothes carefully and answer this. Have you ever seen such dazzling whiteness, such thorough cleanliness, such rich soapy suds, such brilliant colors? Have you ever seen all this with such wonderful treatment for your hands?
Does can promise this because of the way Does is made. Does and only Does of all leading wash day products contain such great quantities of real soap, extra rich soap, combined with 2 modern detergents. Only Does contains these quantities of rich, real soap, balanced with 2 modern detergents.
That's why Does gets your clothes so wonderfully clean and white, while it gives extra safety for colors and almost toilet soap mildness to hands. That's truly why Does everything and does right by your hands. Get a box of Does today. You'll say it, too.
For white washes without red hands, I've gone back to Does.
Dad?
Did you call, Chucky?
Yes, Dad.
Is there something wrong, son?
I can't go to sleep.
Good heavens, child. Do you mean you haven't been asleep?
No, sir.
That's ridiculous.
What time is it, Dad?
It's almost midnight. You should have been asleep hours ago. You feel all right?
Yes, sir.
Then close your eyes, turn over, and off to sleep you'll go.
No, I won't. I don't like to sleep in a tent.
You told me last night that you liked...
I wasn't telling the truth.
As long as we're both awake, I suppose we should talk this thing out once and for all. If we don't, you're not going to enjoy our vacation. I won't be able to enjoy it either.
Would you please light the candle while we talk?
Very well. No, don't you get up. I'll come over to your cot. And we'll discuss this man to man.
Thank you.
Well, son? What is it that's disturbing you?
I don't know.
You said a moment ago, Chucky, that you didn't like to sleep in a tent. Bed is a bed. Because it doesn't happen to be in a room, in a house, what difference does it make?
I can hear things.
The wind through the trees, you mean?
Maybe.
Oh, that's like music, Chucky.
Then I guess it isn't the wind that I hear.
Put on your robe and slippers. We'll take a look outside and see what it is that might be bothering you.
I think I'll go to sleep now. I don't hear anything. I'll close my eyes like you said and turn over and go to sleep.
Put on your robe and slippers, son. If it's the darkness you're afraid of, we'll straighten that out once and for all.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready, son?
Yes, sir.
Here, take my hand.
I don't want to take your hand.
Take my hand.
I'm not afraid of anything.
Ah, see what a beautiful night it is? Look at the stars. Seems one could almost reach up and touch them.
What are stars?
Planets.
Are they very old?
As old as time, I imagine.
I don't want to get old.
You have a point there.
What's that?
Where?
Over there.
Nothing.
Everything looks like it's moving.
Chucky White, I'm ashamed of you. What in heaven's name is there to be afraid of?
I don't know.
Look around you.
I don't want to.
You want to go back home?
No, sir. I like it here in the daytime, but I don't like it at night.
Then you'll have to learn to like it. You'll have to learn not to be afraid of anything or anyone.
I didn't say I was afraid. I don't like it.
It's the same thing.
Let's go back in the tent.
Just a few moments ago, you didn't want to be in the tent. You didn't want to sleep in a tent. You know, young fellow, you're not being very reasonable. Come along, then.
Yes, sir.
What are you doing, Chucky?
Getting under the covers.
What's that blanket doing over your head?
I'm cold.
That's not the truth, and you know it. Take that blanket off your head immediately.
Yes, sir.
I was most patient with you last night. It was the first time you'd slept in a tent. It was understandable. Your not being able to sleep. Don't you have any confidence in me? I'm your father. I'm here to look after you. But I'm not here to baby you. Do you understand what I'm talking about?
I think so.
Don't you know?
Yes, sir.
A great deal of this unfounded fear of yours is your mother's fault.
I don't have the light on in my bedroom at home, Dad. Even when you're not there and Mother leaves the light on, I turn it out.
You do?
Yes, sir.
That's most commendable. But we are not at home now. We're supposed to be on a camping trip, you know. And I am disappointed in you.
Are you, Dad?
Very much so.
I'm sorry. I don't want you to be.
Perhaps we should plan to pack up and drive home in the morning.
Oh, no, Dad. Please. I want to stay honest. I want to be a good camper like you. I want to do everything like you want me to.
Haven't been trying very hard, have you?
I don't know.
I don't think so, Chucky. I want you to be a man, son. I want you to do all the things I did when I was a boy. I want you to be able to enjoy all types of activities men enjoy. Camping, riding, boxing.
Boxing? I'm going to have to box when I get home?
That was the bargain, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
Perhaps that's why you don't want to go home. Is it?
I don't know.
If I thought that were true, we would go home tomorrow.
Please, Dad, no. I want to stay. I'll go to sleep honest. Give me another chance, please.
Very well, son. Good night.
Good night, Dad.
High in the hills of Hollywood, in the gracious home of the Whites, Meta stirs restlessly in her sleep.
I've never been here before. It's so high. Too high. Chucky, don't go near the edge. Chucky, don't go near the edge. Hold on to Mother's hand, Chucky. Please hold on to Mother's hand. Chucky, please hold on to Mother's hand. If you don't, you'll fall. If you don't, you'll fall. Chucky? Chucky? Chucky!
Here's America's newest wash day promise from the one and only Does.
White washes without red hands.
Yes, Does gives you white washes without red hands. Does everything in your wash and does right by your hands. Are your hands suffering from using those no-rinse powders? Then see why women everywhere are going back to Does. Just accept this challenge. Change to Does next wash day. Inspect your clothes carefully. Then answer this. Have you ever seen such dazzling whiteness, such thorough cleanliness, such brilliant colors? Have you ever seen all this with such wonderful treatment for your hands? Yes, white washes without red hands. Does can promise this because of the way Does is made. Only Does of all leading wash day products contain such great quantities of real soap, extra rich soap, combined with 2 modern detergents. That's why Does gets your clothes so wonderfully clean and white, while it gives extra safety for colors and almost toilet soap mildness to hands. Does everything and does right by your hands. So for white washes without red hands, get Does today. Mater White makes a telephone call to her brother Bill in the next episode of The Guiding Light with Leslie Woods and Joan Allison, brought to you by the new Does.
Put new Does in your washing machine. D-U-Z does everything.
The Guiding Light is directed by Charles Urquhart. This is Clayton Collier wishing you good day and good dozzing for Procter & Gamble, the makers of the new Does.
And now, in cooperation with police and federal law enforcement departments throughout the United States, the only national program that brings you authentic police case histories. Gangbusters.
Tonight, the case of the devil and the syndicate, and how 2 desperate gangs of criminals fought a bloody battle that lasted years for the largest prize in the annals of crime.
Gangbusters has asked the Honorable Matthias H. Heck, prosecuting attorney, Dayton, Ohio, to narrate by proxy tonight's case.
The inside facts in the case of the devil and the syndicate.
Mr. Heck, I know that the Gangbusters audience is going to hear some familiar names in tonight's case.
They certainly are, Don Gardner. Names that were in every newspaper every day for years. But right now, they're just names. The major characters are all dead, or in prison with sentences they'll never live to serve.
Well, supposing you begin, Mr. Heck.
All right, Don. The closing events in the case occurred just a few months ago. But to understand these men, we should go back more than 24 years. One bright spring morning in Chicago, a young man crossed North State Street in front of the Holy Name Cathedral. As he approached the other side, he saw the florist shop for which he was looking. He stopped for a moment to glance at a wedding wreath in the window. Then he walked toward the door.
Well, here goes.
Yes, sir? Can I help you?
Yeah. First, you can give me one of them carnations.
Yes, sir. They're very pretty. One of these?
No, one of the red ones. I like red.
Yes, sir. Shall I pin it in your lapel?
Yeah, why not? What do you do after you get through here?
I go to night school to learn jiu-jitsu.
No kidding.
There you are.
How much?
25 cents.
Cheap enough. Catch it.
Thank you. Call again.
Go on and back and tell your boss I want to see him.
My boss?
O'Banion. Tell him George is here.
Do you have an appointment?
Who needs an appointment?
Who is it, Lillian?
Well,
Are you
Mr.
O'Banion?
That depends who you are.
The name is Moran. George Moran.
Lillian, run down the corner and get me the evening papers.
Yes, sir, right away. I'll be right back.
Cute trick.
She's like the flower business, Moran. A front. So hands off.
Okay.
That recommendation from Rossi rated you pretty high.
We got along. Good as anybody can get along in Joliet.
Things have changed since you went in, Moran.
So I hear.
They got a law now. The 18th Amendment, they call it. They want people to stop drinking. But they made a mistake. Too many people don't like that law. When there's a law people don't like, somebody's bound to make a fortune out of it.
We even had bootleggers in Joliet.
Come on in back. I want you to meet one of my friends.
Yeah, sure.
He's one of my vice presidents. You'll be another. All right. I want you to meet George Moran. Earl White.
Pleased to meet you, Bugs.
The name ain't Bugs. It's George.
Okay, no harm meant. I just heard they called you Bugs.
Nobody calls me Bugs. Never.
Take it easy, George. We don't go for rough stuff. And we don't go for rough talk unless it's called for.
Okay.
I said things were changing. We're in business. We're legit, practically.
Just tell me what I do and when I start doing it.
You'll have plenty to do.
We're organizing the whole North Side. Every drop of booze and every mug of beer that's sold on the North Side will be ours.
That's all right with me. But suppose some other guys get different ideas.
That's one of the reasons I'm putting you on the payroll, Moran.
Don't worry. Nobody will muscle in.
Hey, muscle in. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. I'll have to remember that. Not bad.
It's like this, Moran. There's a bunch over on the west side and the south side doing the same thing we are. So long as they stay there and don't muscle in, nobody will get hurt.
And it's working out okay. I've got an agreement with the guy that runs things, Johnny Torrio.
Sounds as easy as selling flowers.
I don't know. That Torrio may be all right, but he just brought a guy in from Brooklyn, a bad actor.
Huh? I know a lot of guys from Brooklyn. Who is he?
What's his name, boss?
Al something or other.
Yeah, that's it. Al Capone.
So, Don, the Chicago gangs grew stronger as each of them strained to expand beyond the limits of the agreed territories. For 3 years, no gang leader would make the first move because he could foresee the violence that would follow. Then one day, Bugs Moran had an urgent summons from the operator of a speakeasy on the north side. He walked into the smoke-filled place and saw the operator sitting at the bar.
Hello, Patsy.
Oh, Moran. Sit down.
Yeah.
Harry, straight bourbon for Mr. Moran.
Okay. Well, what's your trouble?
Maybe it's your trouble, Moran.
What do you mean?
Just put the bottle down, Harry, and go take care of them customers down there.
All right.
Don't talk in riddles, Patsy.
Pour yourself a drink.
Thanks. Luck.
Good stuff, huh?
Come on, Patsy. I didn't come over here to drink your booze. What's the trouble?
You just drank it.
Now, look.
Take a squint at that bottle.
Hey, where'd you get that stuff?
I bought it.
You'll get in trouble, Patsy, making buys from outside.
They backed the truck up here, Moran. They unloaded 40 cases. They said take the stuff or take a dose of lead. I took the stuff. Ain't bad, is it?
Who was it?
How should I know? 3 gorillas with a look in their eye.
You pulling a fast one, Patsy?
Me? I buy your rot gut and pay you good for peace and quiet. I pay you to keep guys like that off my neck.
They'll be off your neck, Patsy. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
So long. And thanks for the drink.
Don't mention it.
You got too hot a temper, Moran. I said this is business. No rough stuff unless it's called for.
Those monkeys won't understand nothing except rough stuff, O'Banion. First it's one joint, then it's another. Then they'll be all over the north side.
It's a mistake.
Johnny Torrio don't make mistakes. Where's Weiss, anyway?
I told him the meeting was off. It's all settled.
Settled? How?
I put in a call for Johnny Torrio. He's going to get it straightened out and call me back.
Yeah? Well, if you...
Maybe that's him.
Yeah, and maybe it ain't.
Just do your job, Moran. I'll handle this. Hello?
O'Banion?
Yep. Who is it?
Johnny Torrio asked me to call. This is Al Capone.
Oh, yes, Al. You checked up on that deal?
Yeah, and as far as we know, it wasn't our boys that made the sale.
Oh?
We don't like that kind of business either, O'Banion. We want to put a stop to it as much as you.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Johnny Torrio said get the details. He said work with O'Banion.
It's a deal, Capone.
Suppose I send a couple of boys around tonight to see you.
Make it tomorrow, Capone, at the flower shop.
Yeah, at the flower shop. They'll be there.
Lillian? Lillian?
Yes, Mr. O'Banion.
Oh, Mr. Moran.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Lillian.
Yes, sir?
First bring me that bird seed. Kankakee's hungry. Bunch of Kankakee. There. See?
Oh, here comes some customers.
Yes.
I'll wait on them first.
They're not customers. Just some gentlemen I'm expecting. Go in back. Make that call to Moran.
Yes, sir. I'll do it right now.
Oh. Come in, boys. Come in.
Hello, O'Banion. We're from Al Capone.
Glad to see you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, how are we going to straighten out this mess?
Capone says it's easy.
Then let's get to it.
Sure, O'Banion. Let's get to it.
Hey, what's the idea of the guns?
So long, pal. Come on, let's get out of here.
Thus done, the two leading gangs of Chicago's racketeers declared war on each other. A gang war that lasted many years, and bloodshed mounted with the months.
Now back to gangbusters. You've told us, Mr. Heck, how gang war flared up in Chicago after the Johnny Torrio Al Capone syndicate sought to invade the North Side and murdered gang leader Diana Banyan.
Yes, Don, and the story of the killing was the news sensation of the day. O'Banion's principal lieutenants, Earl Little Jaime Weiss and George Bugs Moran, were on hand at the funeral parlor where O'Banion's body was on exhibition in a $10,000 casket surrounded by tons of gaudy floral pieces. There they planned retaliation, not so much to avenge O'Banion as to salve their own peculiar pride.
We gotta go through with it, Weiss. We gotta run Torrio and Capone into the ground.
You're wrong, Moran. Nobody can make out if we spend our time killing each other. We're in it for dough. That's the way O'Banion wanted it.
Yeah, and look where O'Banion is. You don't want to sit around and let Capone and Torrio give you the same kind of going over, do you?
Maybe we could get the whole thing settled.
No, settled. You talk like a maniac. There's only one way it's going to be settled. That's when we got the whole town.
I don't know. I was just figuring...
Quiet. Here's only...
Mr. Weiss, can I see you a minute?
What's the matter, Lillian?
Well, another floral piece just arrived, and I
Well,
thought...
have them bring it in.
But there isn't room for any more flowers. Besides, this is bigger than anything in here. It's huge.
Who sent it?
I don't know. I didn't open the card.
Come on, Moran. Let's have a look.
Yeah, sure.
Where are these posies?
Out in the anteroom. This way.
They gotta be brought into line, Weiss. That's the only way.
Let's see.
Right in here. There it is.
What for crying out loud? Who spent all that dough?
It's pretty, huh?
Oh, it's hideous.
Where's the card?
This must be it.
How many men did it take to carry it in? 5? Well, who's it from, Moran?
Here. Read it yourself.
Sure. Rest in peace, Johnny Torrio and Al Capone.
That dirty, rotten...
You're right, Moran. They need a lesson. Let me at those wheels.
No, don't.
Yeah, let me...
Don't get worked out.
Who cares how much...
Soon, Don, George Bugs Moran and Earl Little Jaime Weiss sought and got revenge on gangster Johnny Torrio. Thus, the notorious Al Capone came into command. The war between the two factions continued, with 1 or 2 gangsters losing their lives every week. Finally, Little Jaime Weiss got his, and Bugs Moran became undisputed head of the North Side mobsters. But the pyramid of gang murders didn't help, and both sides knew it. So it was arranged one day that Bugs Moran walk alone and unarmed down a long hotel corridor toward a room at the end. As he walked, he looked carefully at each closed door he passed. Then, on reaching the end of the corridor, he stopped and opened the door.
Come in, Moran. Sit down. Make yourself at home.
Thanks, Capone.
Well, are you ready?
Yeah, Capone. I'm ready.
It's about time we figured we weren't doing ourselves good.
What are your terms?
We split up the city and county. You stay on your side, I stay on mine.
Whose side begins where?
We go back to the old territories, the ones set up by Johnny Torrio and Dion O'Banion.
It's a deal.
And the deal covers everything. The booze, the beer, the dogs, the ladies.
Everything, Capone.
Okay. We'll shake on it.
I can still remember Dion O'Banion went to shake hands. He got led.
We shake, or there's no deal.
I can take the deal or leave it, Capone.
You're acting pretty dumb for a smart cookie, Moran.
Guy can afford to be dumb if he's lucky.
Well, that's the way you want it, Moran.
Put it here, Al.
That's more like it. We'll show them how to run a town.
Got no doubt about us running the town, Al. Let's just keep from trying to run each other.
Hello, Moran. How are you?
Hello, Betsy.
You remember that guy I was telling you about?
Guy? What guy?
Guy with the idea.
Oh, yeah.
I got him back in my office.
Well, let's go see him.
I think it'll work, Moran. Ought to be good for plenty each month.
What'd you say this guy's name was?
Joe. Joe Ruggieri.
Joe Ruggieri. Okay, open up.
Hello, Joe. I want you to know George Moran. Glad to see you.
Patsy tells me you got a new grift.
Yeah. If you go for it, Moran, do I get a spot?
Sure. I get a million spots. Come on, hurry up, though. I gotta meet a girl outside.
Well, the idea is this. There's lots of little guys in business. Big ones, too.
Yes, I know.
They got all kinds of stores. So we form all kinds of organizations. All the cleaners in one association, all the laundries in another. Follow me?
Yeah, go on.
So before we start these associations, a cleaner here, a cleaner there is going to have trouble. A brick through his window, a stink bomb maybe. So they join the association to protect their business.
And?
And they get protection. Without joining the organization, they get no protection. Good stiff dues. Right. Good stiff dues. To us. Well, what do you think of it?
It stinks.
But it's a cinch.
I said it stinks. Go on, get out.
George. It'll work. It'll make millions.
I said get out. Now hit the ties, you crumb bun.
Okay. It's just an idea. So long. What was the idea, Moran? That guy had something.
Did he?
Sure. Be a cinch to operate. You got the strong arm boys. That's all you need.
I know it. You try it out first in the cleaning shops.
Hey, you told Joe you didn't go for the idea.
Sure. Why should I cut him into the deal, a stranger?
Yeah, why should you?
Boy, I could see this thing spreading all over the city. Maybe farther. Maybe to New York.
Oh, yeah? What about Capone?
Well, what about him?
Capone ain't gonna like it.
Let him not like it. There's been peace and quiet too long. I'm sick of it. Come on. Hello?
Moran?
Yeah?
Al Capone. How's it going?
No complaints, Al.
Well, I got a complaint.
Have you?
Yeah. That protection racket of yours is a pretty good idea, Moran.
Yeah. I like it.
But it's covering too much ground.
It'll cover more ground, Al. Nothing like it was included in the agreement.
Well, that's the way you want it.
It is.
Okay, Moran. Be seeing you.
That dawn was the beginning of another flare-up between Chicago's rival gangs. And the direct result was the most sensational and blood-curdling event to arise out of the long history of Chicago's mobsterism.
You were telling us, Mr. Heck, that gang war between the Al Capone and Bugs Moran mobs broke out all over again.
That's right, Don. There were many killings on both sides. With the feud at its height, Bugs Moran called a meeting of a dozen of his henchmen at the garage on North Clark Street he sometimes used as headquarters. By a little after 10 in the morning, 8 of his lieutenants had arrived.
So what, Moran? So they're a little bit late.
When I tell guys to be here, I mean it. Now, will you monkeys keep quiet? How can anybody think?
Okay, boys, don't get excited.
Now, just keep it quiet.
They'll be along in a minute. What do you say we get some coffee?
Coffee.
Come on. You can relax.
All right, Patsy. I guess I can stand some relaxing, too.
Well, you knew what was going to happen. You knew Capone wouldn't sit still.
Okay. I heard all about it. I want to hear.
Let's get out the side door and cut through the alley. It's shorter.
Anyways, all right. You guys stick here. I'll be right back.
Are you going out to buy me a present, boss?
Present, huh? Yeah, I'll give you a present.
But, boss, it's Valentine's Day.
Oh, Valentine's Day, huh? I'll get busy. You think it's the 4th of July. Come on, Patsy, let's go.
You ought to take it easy, Moran. You'll get Capone in the end.
Just take me to that coffee.
Sure. Maybe you could get the old agreement working again.
I don't want to hear no more about it. Take a look around before we hit the sidewalk.
Yeah. No, there's nothing. Hey.
What?
Cops.
Huh?
Just pulled up in front of the garage.
Get close to the wall. You haven't got enough trouble now, cops.
All right, let's go.
With machine guns.
Come on.
Hey, those aren't cops. They're Capone guys.
Okay, get inside. Let's do a good job.
What do you say, boys? Let's go get them.
No, stick where you are.
We ought to warn the guys.
There's 7 of them left in there. They can take care of themselves.
Not against machine guns. Besides, I think the cops.
Stick here, I said.
It's like a slaughterhouse, boss.
Yeah.
Come on, let's go after Moran. We'll get a couple of them anyway.
Oh.
We can show them.
Oh, let's get out of here.
But Moran.
Come on, let's move fast. Yeah? What is it?
He's outside, George.
What's his name?
Foster. Bill Foster.
Bill Foster. All right. Bring him in.
Yes, George.
And Lillian,
Yes?
leave the blindfold on.
Sure, George. All right. Come on in.
Better help me through the door, miss.
I'll help you. Right through here.
Come in, Foster.
You Moran?
Go on out, honey. Leave us alone.
Sure, George. I'll be right outside.
Hey, how about let me take the blindfold off?
Not on your life, brother. What paper you with, anyway?
The American? Who was it, Moran? Who shot up the garage? Who killed those 7 guys?
Only Capone's gang kills like that.
And you lost a lot of talent. You gonna do anything about it?
If I was, I wouldn't tell it to a newspaper.
But you're not?
I made up my mind to quit Chicago.
Leave it all to Capone?
I didn't say I was yellow, and don't you print it.
Where are you going?
Just say I made up my mind to retire. I've been thinking about it a long time, and I just now made up my mind. But don't say I'm quitting because I'm scared of Capone.
Because you're not, huh?
Between you and me, Foster, I am. I know when I'm cooked. Capone's cooked, too, but he don't know it. It won't be me or anybody like me that gets him. But he'll be got. You remember that.
So, Don, George Bugs Moran foresaw the end of gang rule in Chicago. And it was not many months after he fled Capone's vengeance that the notorious gang leader was arrested by United States Treasury agents under the great Elmer L. Irie and subsequently sentenced to a long term on Alcatraz.
But what about Bugs Moran, Mr. Heck?
Well, Don, Moran remained in retirement until just a few months ago. But the time came when he once more thought he could make a killing. This time for $1 million.
Then you'll be back next week to give us another episode in the fantastic criminal life of George Bugs Moran?
I certainly will, Don.
Well, thank you, Prosecuting Attorney Matthias H. Heck of Dayton, Ohio. We'll all be looking forward to next week's case. And now, in cooperation with police and federal law enforcement departments throughout the United States, the only national program that brings you authentic police case history. Gangbusters.
The case of the notorious gang leader, Bugs Moran, who returned from retirement to kindle old flames, but who learned that not all horse players die broke.
Gangbusters has again asked the Honorable Matthias H. Heck, prosecuting attorney, Dayton, Ohio, to narrate by proxy tonight's case.
The inside facts in the case of the notorious Bugs Moran.
Mr. Heck, many of our listeners know how the Chicago gangster George Bugs Moran became one of the country's most powerful and feared racketeers until he was forced to flee Chicago just ahead of Al Capone's machine gun bullets.
Yes, Don, and it was many years later before he could summon the courage to return to Chicago. Although Capone's organization had long since been broken up and the notorious gang leader sentenced to Alcatraz. On one occasion, Moran left his Minnesota hunting lodge and sauntered up and down North Clark Street, where he was formerly such a power. One rainy night, he ventured into a cheap tavern and ordered a drink.
Straight bourbon, friend. Leave the bottle here. Yeah. You been here long?
Too long, friend.
Well, here's looking at you.
Yeah, much too long.
I remember when this joint was a speakeasy.
And my memory's not that good, friend.
Yeah, you understand there's a game in the back room.
You understand too much, friend.
Let me tell you something, friend. I used to own this joint.
Yeah?
Yeah. And 40 more like it.
Give me back that bottle. You had enough.
Leave it later. The name is Moran. George Moran.
Bugs Moran?
Nobody ever calls me that.
Let go of that shirt, friend.
Bugs, I'll show you.
Let go or you'll know the reason. Now, go on, get out of here.
Wait a minute.
Get out, friend, before you're a has-been with a cracked skull instead of just a has-been.
Look here, smart guy.
Hit the road, you bum. Go on, get out.
Yeah, your whiskey's rot gut anyway.
So long, Bugs.
Taxi? Take it easy, Winnie. It's just a shower.
Yeah? Well, I paid $30 for this hat. Oh, nice.
We'll stick in the doorway here until the cab comes along. Just relax.
Relax.
Taxi! Taxi! Ah, the monkey.
Hey, any room in there?
Help yourself. The doorway don't belong to us.
Thanks.
Taxi! Yeah, they're all loaded.
Some rain, huh?
Yeah. Dutch.
What?
Give me a cigarette.
I'm all out, Winnie. Hey, taxi! Taxi!
Here's a cigarette.
Oh, much obliged.
Light?
Yeah. Thanks.
Taxi!
Wait a minute.
Huh?
Aren't you George Moran?
Oh, you know me, huh?
Well, don't you remember me? Winnie. Winnie York. I was hat check girl at the Polka Dot Club.
Winnie? Oh, sure. I remember Winnie. Sure, yeah.
Well, I did put on a little weight since. Dutch.
What? Taxi!
Dutch.
What?
Dutch, you know who this is? George Moran.
Well, what do you know? I used to work for you. Dutch Bauer.
Yeah, I'm glad to see you again.
When I was just a kid, I don't think you ever even saw me. I used to peddle your booze out in Waukegan. Well, what do you know? George Moran. I heard you were retired. Country gentleman.
That's what they call me.
Well, that's for me. That country gentleman stuff.
Hey, Dutch, why don't we take George along to the party?
Well, I don't know. We were only invited ourselves.
No, don't bother about me.
Oh, they'll be glad to have him. What do you say, George?
He's probably got something else to do. What are you bothering the guy?
Well, I haven't got a thing to do.
Well, then come along with us. We'll have a great time. Hurry up, Dutch. Get a cab.
Taxi! Taxi!
There's one. Come on, George. Let's run for it.
Tell me, will you, Winnie, what does Bugs Moran mean today? Nothing. He might just as well have been dead for all the weight he carries.
But he's got no less brains than he had 20 years ago. Besides, Dutch, maybe he's still bigger than you think.
I don't know why I listen to you. What do I need him for? The whole thing's set. We're ready to pull the deal. In he walks. Sometimes, Winnie, you give me a pain.
Well, he's in. You asked him in.
Sure I asked him, and you wouldn't leave me alone until I did. Bugs Moran. If this was running hooch or rough stuff or something like that, then maybe he'd be okay. This is a slick deal. It takes a touch.
You and your touch.
Things have changed, Winnie. Bugs Moran don't mean
Take it easy on that bug stuff. He don't like it. And to me, George Moran still means plenty.
What difference does it make what he likes?
That's him.
Answer it, then. Bugs Moran, huh?
All right, I'm coming.
Hello, Winnie.
Come in, George.
It was a nice party last night. Thanks for taking me.
Oh, they were glad to have you. So was I.
Hello, Moran.
Glad to see you again, Dutch.
Sit down, Moran. Sit down.
Thanks.
Well, I'll fix some drinks.
That's a good idea, Winnie.
What'll you have, George?
Oh, whatever you got, all right.
You take bourbon, if I remember.
That's right.
Straight?
Yeah.
I didn't think you'd be interested in the deal, Moran. The word is you're plenty well healed. Always have been.
Money's like water, Dutch. It runs out. You gotta keep filling the tank.
Yeah. Look, Moran.
What?
This is a smooth operation. No rough stuff.
I don't believe in rough stuff unless it's needed. Hey, come on, give me a rundown on the gimmick.
Well, I got me a good couple of boys. One's good at circulating paper. One is an engraver.
Wait a minute.
What?
This deal isn't counterfeit.
Well, not money.
What then?
Something just as easy to shove and a lot easier to duplicate. American Express money orders.
Uh-huh.
We got a set of plates that's a dandy. I figure if we work it right, we can wholesale about $100,000 in this stuff. Not less than $100,000.
You got a sample?
Sure. Lots of samples.
Mind if I take a look?
No. Help yourself, here. Perfect job. What do you think of it?
It stinks.
Are you kidding?
It's a rotten job. I can tell it's way off without even a legit paper to compare.
Look, Moran, we worked a long time on this
You didn't work long enough. You'll never make it.
Now, wait a minute.
Get hold of that engraver. I want to talk to him.
The engraver's finished. We're through with him.
I said get hold of him.
If you don't like the stuff, pick up your hat and walk out the door. We'll get along without any bugs, Moran.
Bugs?
Hey, let go.
Now, let me tell you one thing, Dutch. You invited me in this deal, and now that I'm in, it's going to be run right. You understand?
Okay. Take it easy.
Refreshments, boys.
You're just in time, eh?
In time for what, George?
Dutch and I came to an understanding. We can all drink to luck.
Well, that's wonderful. It's great.
Yeah, great.
Help yourselves, boys.
Bring it down, Dutch. Then go get hold of that engraver.
Nah.
What's the other one's name?
Fisher. But look, Moran.
I want to talk to him, too, but the engraver first. Go ahead.
Don't start pushing me around, Moran. The days when you push guys around are over.
Yeah? Well, I'd like to see those days come back. And right now is as good a time as any to bring them back. Well?
I think I know where to locate the engraver. And Fisher. See if I can raise him.
You know, George, I don't like to give you advice, but...
But what?
Well, Dutch wasn't too sold on taking you in the first place. It was me that sold him.
Let me tell you something. For a lot of years now, I've been sitting back taking a lot of guff from guys who think they know it all. Every time they open their mouths, you can see all they got is mouth with no brains on the side.
Okay, but Dutch said he...
Who cares for Dutch?
I'll tell you who, George.
Who?
Nobody, George. Nobody at all.
So, Don, the deposed Chicago gangster Bugs Moran was on his way toward making a comeback in the underworld. But he was to learn that the authorities of the law had changed their methods of operating as much as he intended to change his.
Now, back to gangbusters. You were telling us, Mr. Heck, how Bugs Moran, the deposed Chicago gangster, had been taken into a syndicate which intended to circulate bogus American Express money orders and had gradually assumed leadership of the conspiracy.
That's right, Don. And Moran sent Dutch Bauer to bring still another member of the gang, Fisher, to a meeting where they would discuss Moran's new plans for distributing the fake money orders. Dutch finally located the portly Fisher in a suburban horse room.
And 280. Time of the race, 1:23 flat. At New York in the third, they're off and running.
Hello, Fisher.
Oh, hiya, Dutch. Grab a chair.
Thanks.
What's on your mind, Dutch?
I need you for a meeting right away.
What kind of meeting?
New York
Well,
I got a bundle in on this one.
Councilor Link, Uncle John by 2, and Crack Dice is third.
Where's that beetle of mine? He's supposed to be a front runner.
Forget about the horses for a minute, will you? Bugs Moran has come into the bunch.
Yeah, so what? Bugs Moran? Where did he spring from?
That's what I'd like to know. He's in and he's...
Hold it, Dutch.
Councilor still in front by a length. Uncle John second by a half. And third is now just in time.
Just in time. Don't I even get a call out of this race? Local boy. How I ever got touted on local boy, I'll never know.
Will you listen to me, Fisher?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Bugs Moran.
I was telling you, he's practically taken over. He's in there running the show.
No kidding.
I give the guy a break. What kind of gratitude does he show? He's taking over.
Well, maybe it's a good thing, Dutch.
What do you mean it's a good thing? Don't you think I can run the show?
Maybe you can, but Bugs Moran knows his way around.
Now, listen here, Fisher.
Stretch at New York.
Come on, local boy, where are you?
Itch is now second by 2. Just in time, and Crack Dice head and head for third.
Where's that local boy?
Moran's gonna change the distribution gimmick.
He's what?
Moran's gonna switch everything upside down.
He can't do that. It's worked out to a T.
You ought to remember when Bugs Moran takes over, he takes over.
Distribution is okay. It's okay as...
Third at New York.
Ah.
The winner was number 4, Local Boy.
Hey, Local Boy.
Second, and Crack Dice third.
Oh, how do you like that? The horse don't get a call and he win it. He don't get a call.
Be at my place tonight, 10 o'clock. Moran will go over the whole thing with you.
Yeah, I'll be there. How do you like that Local Boy, huh? You don't get a call and you win it.
I'll see you tonight. So long.
Yeah.
The results in the first at Keeneland are now official. The winner, Mr. King, paid $7.20, $3.80, and $3. Second horse.
Telephones, doorbells, always. Hello.
Fisher?
Yeah, this is Fisher.
Can you talk?
Oh, it's you, Lieutenant. Yeah, I can talk. There's nobody here.
Good. I just now got your message. What's up?
Plenty, Lieutenant. I think we're after much bigger game than we figured.
Huh?
Dutch Bauer came around this afternoon. There's going to be a meeting tonight.
What time?
10 o'clock, Dutch's place. But, Lieutenant, that's not the important thing. You know who came into the deal?
Who?
Bugs Moran.
Bugs Moran?
Yeah, Dutch told me this afternoon. Not only is Bugs in, he's starting to run the show.
Well, that puts a new light on things.
Now, Dutch tells me Moran is switching the whole gimmick around. He wants to make $1 million proposition out of it. That's what the meeting's about tonight.
Okay, Fisher. But watch your step. Moran's a slick operator. If he ever gets a line on you, you're as good as in the lake.
And that's the way it works. We get 50%, the passers 50%. 500 grand, and that ain't a bet. Hey, Fisher. Are you taking this all in, or are you dreaming?
I heard every word, Moran.
He's thinking you should have had a couple of yards on that horse today instead of 50.
Hey, you think that would have been bad,
I don't like guys sitting around pipe dreaming while I'm laying out the gimmick.
I told you, Moran. I took in every word.
All right. Give me a rundown, then.
But skip the details. I've been batting them through my head 2 days.
Well, like you said, instead of 100 grand in money orders, we shove a $500,000.
Yeah?
You said you got plenty of contacts, so we get together a syndicate. Guys in every city all over the country. Every money order gets cashed on the same day. 1 day, and then we quit.
Yeah, that's about it. Any questions, Dutch?
Only, when's the day?
Soon.
Well, how soon? Track opens in Miami the 23rd. I got plans.
Maybe your plans will have to wait. I'm not rushing things so you can watch those cockroaches run around a circle.
Okay, don't tear a muscle. I was only hoping.
This is going to be the sweetest deal ever. We take our time and we get everything lined up just so.
Well, how about a little refreshments? I'll call Winnie and Will.
Not just yet, Dutch.
No, what's the matter?
Something just came to my mind. Yeah? Yeah. Fisher, I've been trying to place you ever since you walked in that door.
I told you this is the first time I laid eyes on you, Moran.
He comes from East St. Louis. At least that's what he said.
I thought I saw you before. And now I know where.
Well, maybe. I'm no babysitter. I get around.
If it's what I'm thinking of, Fisher, you'll get around plenty. On your back.
What's the trouble, Moran?
If you got something on your mind, Moran, get it off.
Sure. I'll get it off. Answer me yes or no, Fisher. Back in 29, you tailed me for days.
Don't be nuts, Moran.
You never could get me where you wanted me. Isn't that right?
Now, look, Moran.
You were with Al Capone, weren't you? Answer me. You were one of Capone's boys. Well?
What if I was? I was only a punk kid doing a job. I didn't have nothing against you.
I knew I could smell you.
Now, take it easy, Moran.
Sure. He had a job. There wasn't anything personal.
Okay. Okay, I guess there wasn't. Anyway, I lived through it.
Didn't we all?
Let's have those drinks, Dutch.
New Orleans. A change of jockeys. Al Haynes is now riding Roadmaster instead of M. Kramer.
And that's the way it stands, Lieutenant. It's not good, Fisher. Do you think you can talk Moran into a test a day or so before the big day? A test? Sure, to see how the stuff is accepted. Then we can make our pinch on that test without risking too wide a distribution. I don't know. Maybe he'll go for it. I'll try. Okay. But be careful how you handle it. Don't worry, I will. Uh-oh. What's the matter? Dutch Bauer, and he's seen us. I'll get out of here. No, sit still. He'd only be more suspicious. He's coming over.
In the 6th at New York, number 4, your welcome, has been scratched.
Hello, Fisher. Mind if I sit down?
Help yourself, Dutch.
Thanks.
This is Lieutenant Thacker, Dutch Bauer.
We say.
Hi. Army, Navy, or Fire Department?
State's Attorney's Office. Well, you weren't much help, Fisher, but thanks.
Don't mention it.
Nice to meet you.
What does a cop want with you?
He's looking for somebody?
You didn't know where the guy was. The one he was looking for.
Well, there's one way to handle cops. Let them think you're helping them, Dutch, but don't.
You're a lucky guy, Fisher.
Why?
You see, I knew he was law. If you'd have told me he was something else. That's all, brother.
I've got nothing to hide. What's up, Dutch?
Moran wants to see you.
Not another meeting.
10 o'clock tonight. We're all set to go.
Meetings.
I'll see you there.
They are off and running in the 4th at New Orleans at 4:20. At Keeneland in the 3rd race.
If a guy's once got it, George, he's always got it.
Well, a little tough, baby. I never thought I'd make it back to the top. And this is going to be the send-off. There ought to be nearly $200,000 in it for me.
Yeah, I'd be disappointed if there wasn't. The way Dutch was running it was for buttons.
Dutch is a buttons kind of guy when he's no good for you.
Who is?
Who do you think?
Can I get you another drink?
Not now, Winnie. We've got...
Winnie, Oh.
Hello, Dutch. Fisher, how's it going?
Not a winner all day.
I didn't expect to find you here, Moran. I thought that meeting last night covered everything.
I didn't come here to see you.
No?
I came to see Winnie.
George,
Shut up. Have you got business with Winnie now?
Yeah, Dutch. Plenty of business. It's been unfinished a long time.
They got a name for a guy like you, Moran.
Yeah, I guess they have.
Look, maybe I'll take a walk.
No, stick around. You don't expect me to stand still while you take over everything, Moran, do you?
You'll stand as still as I say.
Boys, there's no sense getting worked up over this.
Who wants her anyway? Take her.
I intend to, Dutch.
I think I'll go out for a walk. Business before pleasure, boys. See you later.
Well, Dutch, you got anything else to say?
About what?
About nothing. Fisher, you might like to know I thought over that idea of yours about the test passing.
Yeah?
You haven't got a bad idea there, Fisher. Not bad at all.
Well, I figured we could make this test passing on a Saturday. We see how it goes. Now, if everything's okay, the big day will be Monday before any of the Saturday stuff has a chance to clear any banks.
What do you think, Dutch?
Anything is okay, Moran, so long as you say so.
Good. And I think we'll try it out in Pittsburgh. How's next Saturday?
Great. I'm glad to hear it. Then I can shove off for Miami.
All right, we leave for Pittsburgh Thursday. In the meantime, Dutch, you get in touch with the boys all over that are going to do the passing.
Okay.
You get in touch with them and tell them that right after we make the test, we send each of them a wire. Tell them when they get it, be ready to unload Monday.
So that's the way it was, Lieutenant. The big day is set for next Monday. The test will be this Saturday.
Good work, Fisher. But I wouldn't have given a nickel for your chances of getting the idea across.
Well, Moran went for it hook, line, and sinker. Look, Lieutenant, I'll have to stick pretty close to Moran. Everything will be taken care of for Pittsburgh, huh?
Don't worry, it'll be all set. I'll see you there.
Yeah, so long and good luck.
Good luck yourself. You need it more than I do.
And will that be all, sir?
Is that enough? How about you, pal? You want anything?
No, not here.
Well, let's see. 2 shirts at $7.50, 2 neckties, $23.80 with the tax.
Yeah, look. I got an express money order. It's all endorsed.
Huh? $100.
Yeah, take it out of there.
I'll have to get the section manager's okay, sir.
Well, go get it. Don't stand around.
Yes, sir. Be right back, sir.
You like that guy, Fisher?
I'm not worried about the guy. I just hope that paper gets by. It means a lot to me.
What do you think it means to me? It'll get by.
I hope Dutch is making out okay.
If we pass that paper here, it'll be okay anyways. We send out the wires tonight.
Uh-oh, here comes the clerk.
Yeah.
I have your change for you, sir.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Could you show me some of those shirts?
Be with you in a second, sir, as soon as I finish with this customer.
Excuse me. Take your time.
$23.80, $24, $25, $30, $40, $50, $70, $90, $100.
Much obliged.
Your package will be ready in a minute, sir.
Okay.
Don't move, Moran.
Watch it.
Get him up there.
Come on, let's get out of here, Fisher.
You're not going anyplace, Moran.
Fisher, you...
Watch him.
No, you don't.
Stand back. Everybody, stand back, please. Get back.
Well, Lieutenant, that takes care of Bugs Moran.
Certainly does it, Fisher. Let's get him in. Stand back, folks. It's all over. There's nothing to see. It's all over. It's all over.
So, Don, the fabulous Bugs Moran was caught in the act of passing forged money orders. He was tried and sentenced to a term in prison.
But this wasn't the end of his criminal activities, Mr. Heck.
No, it certainly wasn't. Another climactic episode, which closed just a few months ago, was still to come.
And you'll return to Gangbusters next week to tell us about it?
I'll be here.
Well, thank you, Mr. Heck, for the inside facts you've given us tonight.
Your Auto Light dealer presents your favorite friends from Gasoline Alley. Hold it, Wilmer. Hold it till I get this phone.
Okay, Cheesy.
Scarlet and Bubble Garage. Cheesy Scarlet speaking. What's that? Yes, sir. We can fix it. We can fix anything on 4 wheels. Sure. We'll be waiting for you right here in Gasoline Alley. Yes, it's Gasoline Alley, the comic strip that's a favorite in more than 100 newspapers. In this episode, The Adventure of Jealous Jessica, Cheezix and Wilmer discover that it's better to give than to receive, especially when the gift involves a new hat for your wife. But first, a word from the friendly Auto Light dealer in your own hometown. And now, Gasoline Alley. As usual, there's a lot of activity around the Wallet and Bobble Garage this morning, and as sometimes happens, Wilmer is just now arriving to take part in it. What is unusual is the look of grave and serious concern on Wilmer's face, and Keezix, naturally, is curious about it.
Hi, Wilmer. What seems to be the trouble?
Oh, it's Jessica.
Gee, it's nothing serious, I hope.
You'd think it was if you could hear her. She's after me to let her buy a new hat.
Oh, is that all?
Well, no, not exactly. You know, Keezix, I've been thinking about our business, and I've come to the conclusion that something has got to be done around here.
You're so right, Wilmer. Better grab your wrench.
What I mean is we've got to start being more efficient, get more work out.
You're absolutely right, Wilmer. Get your wrench.
Maybe what we ought to do is raise our prices.
And lose all our customers to our competitors?
Well, we've got to take more money out of the business some way.
I think we're doing about as well as we can at the moment.
Well, yeah, I suppose so. In fact, that's just what I told Jessica.
Jessica?
Yeah, she's the one who suggested we ought to be more efficient. We ought to raise our prices, get higher profits.
Well, how come Jessica's taking so much interest in our business?
Like I said, she wants a new hat.
The trouble with you, Wilmer, is you just don't understand women.
Does anybody?
Sure. Other women.
Get that while you're up, will you?
Wallet and Bobble Garage. Keezix Wallace speaking. Yes. Yes, we can. Where is your car? Corner of Chestnut and Linden. I'll be there in 5 minutes. Some woman can't get her car started.
Woman, maybe I'd better go.
No, it's an emergency, and you still have to get into your jumper. You can tackle some of this work around here.
Okay, where do I start?
Wilmer, you know that as well as I do. Grab your wrench.
Is it anything serious, Mr. Wallace?
Oh, no, ma'am. Just these distributor points. As soon as you get a little time, you ought to run into the garage and let us replace them for you.
I should?
Yes, ma'am. I was just noticing these spark plugs, too. How long have they been in the car?
Well, I really don't know.
It surprised me if you needed new ones. You know, it really pays to keep your ignition system in top working order. There. Now, that ought to do it.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. Now, how much will that be?
Oh, not a thing. Nothing at all.
Oh, but surely I must owe you something.
Oh, no, ma'am. It's just part of the wallet and bobble service.
Oh, but I insist.
Ladies, please. I know my business.
Well, that's awfully kind of you.
Oh, not at all. Drop around this afternoon and we'll look over that ignition system and tune up your motor.
You've been so kind, Mr. Wallace. I wonder if you'd do one more little favor for me.
Well, sure, if I can.
Just take this to your wife.
Hey, what's this?
Well, it's a hat box, of course.
Yeah, hat box.
With a hat inside.
Well, I can't take this tonight. That is my wife?
Well, of course you can. You're going to see her, aren't you?
Oh, well, sure,
well, you
but...
just give it to her and tell her it's from Madame's hat.
Madame's hat. Oh, but lady...
I'm Miss Mode. I own the store. We have very exclusive styles. A hat for every woman's taste and her husband's approval.
Well, I'm sure they are, but after
Mr.
all...
Mr. Wallace, please. I know my business.
Well, this is very nice.
Now, not another word about it.
But...
Why, Mr. Wallace?
Huh?
He said another word.
Hey, you back already?
Sure, it wasn't serious. Just had to clean up the points a little to get the car started.
I hope you charged her plenty for the call.
Nope, I didn't charge you anything.
You didn't charge her? You did all that for free?
Well, sure, Wilmer. She said she'd be in later for a motor checkup. Her car needs new spark plugs. Eventually, she's going to need a new battery. So I didn't charge her for the road call, and she'll probably become a regular customer.
Regular customer? You mean we'll probably never see her again?
Well, I think we will. In fact, I'm sure of it.
What makes you so positive?
Take a look in the seat of the tow truck.
Right, well, for Pete's sake, a hat box.
Yeah, she gave it to me for Nina.
She gave you a hat for Nina? A free hat? How come?
Well, I don't know. I told her there was no charge for the emergency call, so she ups and hands me the hat box and all.
How do you like that?
She owns a store. Madame's Hat.
Madame's? That's one of the most exclusive hat shops in town. Say!
What's the matter with you?
Jessica wants a new hat, doesn't she?
Well, yes, but...
And that woman appreciates service. Well, when she drives in here, she'll get such great service, she'll want to give Jessica 2 hats.
Back to Gasoline Alley and the adventure of Jealous Jessica. Miss Mould, the owner of Madam's Hats, has left her car at Wallet and Bobble's garage. While Keezick congratulates himself on winning a new customer and a new hat for Nina, Wilmer is giving Miss Mould's car the full personalized tune-up treatment.
How you making out with Miss Mould's car, Wilmer?
Oh, it's just about ready to roll. And, boy, have I done a tune-up job on this Mould.
Well, that's good, because Miss Mould is here for the car.
Yes, ma'am. Your car will be ready in just a moment, Miss Mould.
Fine. I hope there wasn't too much wrong with it.
Not a thing, except for the new plugs and points. But while I was at it, I thought I'd better check everything. You know, just part of the service.
Oh, that was very thoughtful of you, I'm sure.
Sure, I didn't overlook a thing. Checked the time and adjusted the carburetor, checked the battery, adjusted the brakes and headlights, put an oil-water gas on 32 pounds of air in the tires.
My, that sounds like a lot of air. I thought my tires only did 28 pounds.
Don't mention it. The 4 extra pounds are on the house. You'll find a car in tip-top shape. And just to make sure, I recommend a test run around the block. Hop in.
All right.
Be back in a minute, Skeezick. I'm just going to show Miss Mould everything I've done for her. Boy, listen to that motor.
Well, it does sound better.
The old Bible touch. When I work on a motor, it runs like a charm. Maybe it ought to run more like a motor. As I was saying, you want to take advantage of the Wallet and Bobble service. Bring your car in regularly and let us check up. No. Hello there, Jessica.
A friend of yours?
Hardly. That is, she's my wife.
Why, Mr. Bobble, what's the matter?
Oh, nothing. Nothing at all. She's crazy. About hats, that is. But she's so jealous. And here I go driving right past her with somebody else.
Wait, where are you going?
I don't know. Mexico might be nice this time of year.
But there's the garage right there.
Oh, yes, Wallet and Bobble. Well, thank you. It's been nice.
Thank you so much for everything you've done for my car. Will you just mail the bill to Madame's house?
Sure.
And, Mr. Bobble, I wonder if you can do one more favor.
Well, I don't know.
Would you mind taking this to your wife?
Hey, it's a hat box with a hat inside?
Certainly. Just tell your wife it's from Madame's house.
I sure will.
Well, goodbye now.
Goodbye. Hey, Jesus. Look at this. She gave me a hat for Jessica.
Oh, it's swell, Wilmer.
Just like Nina.
It better not be. We want our wives to be friends.
Oh, I knew I'd put it over. Plenty of service, I always say. Service in the old bottle touch.
Touch is right.
Jesus.
Wilmer, what's wrong?
The most horrible thought that hit me. You know how jealous Jessica is, and she saw me in that car with Miss Mould, and now if I give her this hat, Jessica will...
She'll think she has good reason to be jealous.
Yeah. Here. Take it. Here's another hat for Nina.
Well, thanks, Wilmer, but I'm not so sure I ought to give it to her. Gee, 2 new hats for Nina. I just hope this won't be habit forming.
Yeah.
It's me, Wilmer. Can you step outside a second? How's Jessica?
I don't know.
Isn't she home?
Yeah, but she isn't speaking to me.
Well, no wonder. Here, this is for her.
Oh, no, not that hat. I can't give it to her now, and you know why.
Wait a second, let me explain.
Jessica isn't speaking to you because she expected you to bring this hat home to her. Well, that's what I mean. She expected me to... Wow! Yeah. Jessica and Nina picked those hats out themselves. Down at Madame's hat. They did? Yes, and they charged them to us. They did? They aren't free. We have to pay for them. They did? We do? Yes. The girls wanted the hats, and Miss Moe gave them to us to deliver because it happened to be convenient. You know something? Jessica and Nina told Miss Moe to bring her car to us for repairs and service. No. They figured we wouldn't mind their getting new hats as long as we got some new business. Boy, it sure turned out that way, didn't it? How do you mean? The girls got the hats, and we got the business.
Now a word from your Autolite dealer.
The General Electric Theater, tonight starring Miss Joan Fontaine. This is Ken Carpenter welcoming you to the General Electric Theater, presented by the makers of famous, dependable kitchen and home laundry appliances, General Electric. Tonight we bring you Miss Joan Fontaine in The Enchanted Cottage. Tonight the General Electric Company is privileged to present the most popular story of all those written by one of England's greatest playwrights. And to star in this unforgettable drama, we have with us an actress who is among America's brightest and most talented stars. It is with great pride that we bring you a transcription of The Enchanted Cottage by Sir Arthur Wing Pinero, starring Miss Joan Fontaine. But first, that refrigerator you bought as a bride may have been just the right size for a twosome, but families have a way of growing, and when they do, they can quickly outgrow a refrigerator. But General Electric has a new refrigerator that your family won't outgrow in a hurry. It's a new 11 cubic foot beauty. This big GE refrigerator has GE's new Roto Cold. Cold air flows uniformly to every part of the refrigerator, top and bottom, so all food is safely refrigerated. You get completely automatic defrosting, too. No buttons to push, no clocks to set, no pans to empty. And the shelves are sliding and adjustable. You can switch them around to accommodate a huge turkey or a king-sized watermelon. See your GE dealer and find out how you can own the new 11 cubic foot GE refrigerator for only about $4.36 a week after small down payment. And now the first act of The Enchanted Cottage, starring Miss Joan Fontaine.
If you want Mrs. Morgan, she's gone to the village. Go away.
Miss Ashley, it's Larry Penning. Shack at the far end of the beach, remember? Miss Ashley?
One moment. What is it you want, Mr... Oh, I thought you were alone.
I brought Major Hill to call on you.
How do you do, Miss Ashley?
Major's dog is at the vet's, and I happen to be walking this way, so I...
Dog?
A guide dog. I'm blind.
Oh. Won't you come in?
Thank you.
I didn't mean to be so... Well, this isn't exactly one of my good days. I'm expecting visitors from the city, and it's upsetting.
You want me to clear out?
No. Please, sit down.
Sofa behind you, Major.
All right, thanks.
If you don't mind, Miss Ashley, I'll wait in the garden. Call me when you're ready to go, Major.
All right, Larry. He's a very decent fellow, isn't he? Have you gotten to know him at all?
I've passed his place a few times, walking along the beach. We've nodded and said hello. What is it you want with me, Major?
Well, I've put off this visit until you've had a chance to settle down here. Now that you have, and since we're to be neighbors, so to speak, and since there are so few of us along this stretch of coast, I thought we might get together occasionally.
I see.
It's a solitary spot you've hit upon. Imagine you've already discovered how lonely it can be.
I bought this cottage because it is lonely. If no one ever came near me, I'd like it even more.
Oh? Are you ill?
Oh, don't I sound it? I was in a crash, an accident, automobile. Coming home from a party. My escort was not as sober as I thought. He came through in excellent shape while
you...
My face. Nerves were destroyed and my face is just...
It might have been worse. You might have been...
Oh, you might have been worse. Did it make your blindness easier to bear when you were told it might have been worse?
No. No, you're right, it didn't. I was a rather promising sculptor before the war.
I suppose I oughtn't to give way like this.
Why not, if it makes you feel better?
You don't, apparently.
You haven't given me a chance, Miss Ashley.
Excuse my bad manners, Major. Every so often I get to brooding and I get these headaches and... I'm holding my hand out to you. I'm happy to make your acquaintance. And please call me Livia.
Thank you, Livia, thank you. Well, having broken the ice, I'll be on my way.
So soon?
You've some people coming.
My sister and her husband. Yes, they're driving down. They're determined to make a thing of it.
A thing?
My burying myself, they call it. They won't let me alone. They keep hammering at me. They say they can't understand my eccentric conduct. They don't realize that I'm done, I'm finished. They say I shouldn't withdraw from friends and relations. They're so maddeningly normal they can't grasp that my chief aim in life now is to avoid those who knew me as I was.
Oh, nonsense, Livy, that's rubbish.
My face wasn't always like this. When I look into my mirror, oh, it's so unfair. Why me?
Miss
Why
Ashley.
me?
Miss Ashley. Livia. Oh, stop it now, huh? Someone's coming. Oh, that's a good girl.
There was no mail, miss. I brought the paper. Oh, good day, Major Hill. Good day to you. It's Mrs. Morgan.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Morgan. Nice to meet you again. Housekeeping for Miss Ashley now, are you?
Is anything wrong, miss? Is she all right, Major?
Well, it's nothing, Mrs. Morgan, thank you. We'll call you if we want anything.
Certainly, Major.
I'm sorry.
I know how it is. I went through it myself, remember? I said to myself, well, you're blind, there it is. There's nothing you can do about it. But I found something I could give myself to.
What?
Well, it's nothing very grand. This section of the country is rich in history, tradition, folklore. Well, I do research in history and I write about it. Sometimes I even manage to sell what I write. This cottage of yours, for example. It's not very interesting to you, is it?
What about this cottage of mine?
Ever noticed the window overlooking the garden? Take a close look at it. Go on, go on. Huh. What do you see?
Names? Names scratched on the pane. Ralph and Eleanor. Edward and Margaret. Charlotte and John.
Yes, the names of your predecessors. Young men and women who spent their honeymoons within these walls for generations back. This cottage was once part of a large estate.
And it was lent to newlyweds?
Mm-hmm. For hundreds of years, a custom of the family. Just imagine the wealth of grace and beauty and love that this old place has known, the enchantment it has witnessed, the magic it has exerted.
Oh, that must be my sister. Will you stay with me?
No, I would, but Larry is very sensitive of the facial burns he got in the war. It upsets him to be seen by strangers.
I can understand that. He and I are a match there.
Larry, I'm ready now. You mind if we leave by way of the garden?
No, of course not. When do I see you again?
Soon. I'll come again very soon.
Now, this has been a short visit, Major.
Miss Ashley has a headache.
Oh, I'm sorry. You got anything for it in the house?
Oh, nothing of it is any good.
Well, I'll bring you something. I'll be back in a few minutes, Miss Ashley.
Goodbye, Major. And thank you.
Bye, Livia.
How was your been, Mrs. Morgan? Alec, do you have my cigarette case? Libby, we're here. Never mind, Alec, I had it in my hand. There you are.
Livy, darling.
Hello, Diane.
How are you? Let me look at you. Oh, you're looking much better. Isn't she, Alec? Isn't she looking much better?
Hi, Livy.
Hello, Alec. Have a nice trip.
Oh, it was ghastly, darling. It was sickening and revolting. We were stopped 3 times for speeding. They held us up hours. Talk. The longer each one delayed us, the faster Alec had to drive. I tried to explain that to them, but...
Shall I serve now, Miss Ashley?
Oh, Pat! Well, I'm sorry. Were you expecting us to stay for luncheon? Well, we can't. We're expected at the Tartanders for the weekend.
Never mind, Mrs. Morgan.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, now, darling, we'll simply plunge into the reason for our visit, shall we? We'll make it quick, like little bunnies.
Well, if it has anything to do with my leaving here, Diane, I'd rather not go into it.
Oh, but, sweet, surely you've realized by now that shattered spirits are not restored by this sort of existence.
She's right, Liv. This sort of place has all the drawbacks of a grave with none of the advantages.
Both of you don't start all over again. I'm where I want to be, and I'm going to stay.
But it's not good for you to be so alone.
It only makes things worse.
It's unhealthy.
Please.
We worry so about you.
It really gets us down, Liv.
Oh, it's very good of you, but
it would be so much better for you if you came back to the city, to people who know you and would rally round.
Oh, no, I've tried that. No, it was horrible for me. Can't you understand? The look on people's faces when they saw mine. The dutiful visits by friends. The tones of pity. I'll never go back to it.
Oh, that's all your imagination, sweet, really. Ever so many people told us that after a while they grew
so
used
cruel?
And how can you be so thoughtless? Have you considered our position, Alex and mine?
Your position?
Yes. There's all sorts of talk behind our backs, that we're negligent of you, that we've let you go off by yourself like a sick cat. Quite a few people have turned cool toward us because of it. I don't mind telling you it's done Alec no good at all professionally. Olivia, if you won't go back to your former life, we've discovered a very nice
so
rest
that's
home that
why
really
you're
you
concerned.
love.
Your social standing.
No, hold on.
Get out of here. Get out.
Oh, I really do think we'd best go, Alec.
Now.
She needs looking after, Di. Perhaps a legal guardian of some.
Well, here we are, Miss Ashley. 2 of these and a glass of water. And... Miss Ashley.
I shall have to leave this cottage.
Leave?
Because of my family. They won't let me alone. They're just gone. And what do you think they have in mind for me? A rest home. A legal guardian.
Oh, that's ridiculous. But may I say something? It really isn't good for you to live alone. Many times when I've seen your light at night across the water, I've thought of you here all by yourself, staring at the walls, and Here are the tablets. I'll be going.
No, don't go yet. Imagine you're thinking about me like that. Well, you're very kind. Please, I... Don't be startled by what I'm going to say now. I'm wretched, terribly wretched at times. You can't be much happier. We're both in the same boat, aren't we? Mr. Penning, would you marry me and live here? That would keep my family away. I tried not to get on your nerves.
Well, if you want to marry, you must know dozens of men who...
Oh, but that's just it. The men I once knew, they will look at me. They wouldn't have me.
I understand. You want to marry me not just to keep your family at arm's length, but because I have the special qualification of being ugly. I'm much obliged.
Oh, no, Mr. Penning.
Quite
Larry.
all right. Doesn't matter.
Oh, forgive me. I wouldn't hurt you for the world. I really meant... I know there'd be no romance in such a marriage. Couldn't be. But we could be friends. Oh, I am sorry that I've hurt you.
Don't be. As if I didn't know what I look like. It's a shock, of course, to be told of it so bluntly, but...
I make such a mess of everything.
No, Miss Ashley, don't, please. Oh, no, Libby, no, stop, please. Here's a handkerchief. You've had rather a rough morning of it, haven't you? Would you care to come for a walk along the beach with me?
I would like to very much, Larry.
If your kitchen is so small you haven't room to change your mind in it, here's some good news from General Electric. You can still enjoy all the wonders of General Electric speed cooking on GE's attractive new 24-inch range. Yes, this new GE range is only 24 inches wide, but it's full size in performance. That's because GE designed it to give you the most important cooking features of big deluxe GE ranges. It has GE push-button controls, GE Calrod cooking units, one that's extra high speed for extra fast starts, a GE automatic oven timer, and the new wide-opening GE Master Oven that can turn out a meal for 24 people. And there's even a big storage drawer. So if you've always longed for a General Electric speed cooking range but are pinched for space, see GE's new 24-inch full oven range. Yours for only about $2.69 a week after small down payment. See it at your GE dealers. And now with our star, Miss Joan Fontaine, we bring you the second act of The Enchanted Cottage.
Oh, what is it, Mike? Why have we stopped, boy? Oh, tree branch. Almost bumped my head, didn't I? All right, Mike, lead on. What is it now? The door? All right, Mike, right. Everything under control. Here we are. Now rest, Mike. Anyone home? It's Major Hill and a friend. Is there anyone home?
Welcome back, Major.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Morgan. It's good to be back. And this is Mike. How do you like him?
He's a very handsome dog.
Yes, isn't he, though?
You were gone a long time.
Well, it takes 6 weeks, you know. Mike and I had to work together to see if we were right for each other, and we are, aren't we, old boy, huh?
Oh, I was sorry to hear your other dog died at the vet's.
Thank you. Are Mr. and Mrs. Penning in?
They've gone for a stroll. They'll be back in a few minutes.
When Mrs. Penning phoned me this afternoon, she puzzled me a bit. They're well, you say?
Yes, sir.
Then what's happened to them that's so extraordinary?
I can't say, sir, except they seem to be in hiding. They're on their honeymoon, of course, and honeymooners do like to be alone, but you'll be the first person they've seen since their marriage except me. And me they're shy of. They never go out until nightfall, and then they wrap themselves up and cover their faces, and they...
We're back, Mrs. Morgan. Has the Major come?
Yes, ma'am. He's waiting. Let me have your coats.
Oh, no, that's all right. Hello, Major. Oh, it's so good to see you again.
Hello, Olivia. Larry, how are you?
Oh, wonderful. You've no idea how wonderful.
Well, don't keep him waiting. Tell him.
Tell me what?
Oh, sit down, Major. This is going to come as a... Now, sit down, please.
All right. Now, what is it?
Oh, if only you could see us.
Yes, if only you could see us. We're in a devil of a predicament.
We don't know where to turn for advice, except to you.
Predicament?
I told you over the phone that something out of the common had befallen us.
Yes, but what? What is it? What's the mystery?
Well, you'll never believe it, but I've become...
She's beautiful, Major. Gloriously beautiful.
And as for Larry, he's so...
Don't you hear the difference in us?
Yes. Yes, When did this happen? When did the change begin?
After our marriage. Almost as soon as we set foot in the cottage. That's when the change began. It was gradual.
And when we finished dinner and lighted the lamps, I became aware that Livy was positively radiant.
And Larry, he was no longer... We didn't know what to make of it. We still don't know how it happened. I thought of what you told me about the history of this cottage. All those handsome, beautiful honeymooners. Imagine the enchantment these rooms have witnessed, you said, and the magic exerted here. Remember? Ridiculous to think of supernatural powers, and yet...
Anyway, what shall we do, Major?
Do?
Well, it's an awkward position. People around us are probably regard us as the ugliest they've ever seen, and if they see us now, it's bound to... Well, I mean, what do I tell them?
Help us. Give us your advice.
Very well. I say take the gift and enjoy it without question. Enjoy it humbly, as a heaven-sent miracle.
Do you really think?
Think?
Peter?
I know. I, too, am waiting.
Oh, dear Major. May I ask you a favor?
Of course.
Diane and Alec, my sister and her husband, they're coming tomorrow. I wish you'd be here around 3 o'clock.
Have you told them about...
No, that's why I want you to be here. We'll need your support. They know I'm married now, but the other things...
Well, if you think my presence will make things easier for you, of course.
Thank you.
You've given me the biggest surprise I've ever had. I won't sleep a wink tonight. Well, come on, Mike, let's go. See you tomorrow. Good night, both of you.
Good night.
Major. Well, I'm darned if the Major has made matters much clearer to me, but for the peace of our souls, let's do as he advises. Accept the gift and enjoy it.
Enjoy it, revel in it, luxuriate in it. Oh, Larry, I love you so. Oh, Larry, I'm so happy. Major. Oh, we're so sorry to have kept you waiting.
Well, we wanted to look our very best, you know.
Well, of course you did, I understand.
What time is it?
Well, it's almost 3.
We've been talking, Larry and I, and Major, could we impose upon you a bit more?
Oh, Livy, you're not imposing on me. What is it?
Well, we would like you to explain to Diane and Alec exactly what's happened to us. If they were prepared for the revelation, it would save us a bit of the embarrassment. Will you do it?
Please, Major.
Well, I've never met the...
Smallwood.
Yes. It's awkward, but I'll do it, Livy. Yes, of course I'll do it.
Oh, thank you. That's one problem solved. You see, on top of everything else, Mrs. Morgan is ill.
What's wrong?
I don't know. When I told her we were having guests for tea, she went white as a sheet. I don't know why. She's sitting in the kitchen now and won't talk to us. So you see that... Oh, they're here. Larry, quick, upstairs.
We'll be waiting, Major. Just call us when you're ready.
All right.
Libby?
It's us. Where are you, newlywed?
Oh, do you suppose they've forgotten we're... Oh.
Mr. and Mrs. Smallwood?
Oh, yes.
I'm Major Hill, a friend of Livia's and Larry's. They were kind enough to invite me to meet you.
Oh, how do you do?
How do you...
Where are they?
I told Livy we'd be rushed for time. We're due at the Haverleys for the weekend.
They're upstairs waiting for me to summon them.
What?
They've asked me to prepare you for a surprise. A great surprise.
Oh, you don't mean about her husband's face, do you? She wrote that he was far from attractive. If that's it, we knew it even before they were married.
No, that's not it, but it does bring me to the point. Larry Penning was an ugly man and...
Was?
Yes. Try to understand this. From the moment they were married, they've changed.
What are you talking about? What changed?
Livia is no longer a wretched caricature of herself. You'll find she is as lovely as she used to be. And Larry is a strong, handsome young man.
Livy? No longer disfigured?
Mm-hmm. You'll see for yourself. Yeah, I'll call them now. Livia! Larry! Come down.
Oh, I can hardly believe it. Alec?
No, don't ask me, Di. I've no answers.
I think... What's taking them so long?
Shh, here they are.
Diane, Alec, this is my husband.
How do you do?
And I'm happy to meet you.
Well, I imagine you're both a bit bowled over. Major Hill has explained how it happened.
Happened?
The change in us, in Larry and me. Oh, did you ever hear of anything so marvelous? Well, say something. Oh, you can't judge how Larry has altered, but you can see the difference in me, can't you?
Livy, listen. Listen to me.
Di. Yes, it's a remarkable change, Livy. It's remarkable.
Is that all you have to say? What's the matter with you both? Why do you stare?
Livy, sweetie, it's just as the Major said. Astonishing. Look, I wish we had more time to tell you how pleased we are, but, well, you see, this is only a flying visit, and we really must be on our way.
Yes, we must. Oh, goodbye, dears. Every happiness to you both. I'll write soon, darling. Good night, Major. Hurry, Alec.
Goodbye, all.
I don't understand. They didn't seem to see any difference at all. What's the meaning of their behavior?
We are good looking, aren't we, Major? Aren't we? You can hear it, can't you?
Larry, let me touch your face.
What? What?
Don't ask me.
You don't mean to imply that we've been lying to you, do you? Mrs. Morgan!
No, don't call her, don't.
Mrs. Morgan! I'm frightened, Larry.
It's all right, love. I'm here. I'm here.
You called me, ma'am?
Mrs. Morgan, I want you to tell us the truth. Since Mr. Penning and I were married, has our appearance changed? Has it?
No, ma'am. No. There's been no change.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I knew you'd find out the truth this afternoon, and it nearly broke me. And yet, what is there to be sorry for? You love each other. And a man and a woman in love have a gift of sight not granted to other folk. And so long as you feel as you do, you'll never be anything to one another but fair and handsome. Look at me. I'm an old scarecrow of a woman. But if my man could rise from his grave and walk in this minute, I'd be pretty to him. I'd be pretty to him.
Well, no fault of yours, Major.
No, I want to go off and think about this. Come on, Mike.
Don't feel badly, Major.
No, I'll try not to.
Goodbye. Darling.
Yes.
After all, what does it matter? You're pretty to me.
And you'll always be handsome to me. There. Hold me tight, Larry.
Happy?
Yes. I'm happy, Larry.
Miss Joan Fontaine will be back in just a moment. Wash day was never like this. No, wash day was never as easy as it is today with a new General Electric automatic washer, because a GE gives you the whitest, brightest wash ever. You see, in many old-fashioned tumbler-type washers, the clothes are tumbled round and round, so they're out of the water much of the time. But GE's new automatic washer has activator washing action. That means clothes are flood-washed, flood-rinsed, submerged in water all the time. And in many old-style tumbler-type washers, the dirty water drains through the clothes, putting the dirt right back in the freshly washed pieces. But in General Electric's new automatic washer, GE's sensational spin drying spins the dirty water up, out, away from the clothes, so you're bound to get a cleaner wash. You can own this new GE automatic washer for only about $3.90 a week after down payment. See your GE dealer tomorrow. And now our star, Miss Joan Fontaine.
First, Ken, I want to say that I'm among the many who appreciate the value of General Electric appliances.
Well, coming from someone as busy as you are, that means a lot, Joan. I hear you've just finished making 3 pictures in a row.
Oh, that's true, Ken. And it's been hard work, too.
Even when the producer is your husband?
Oh, that was only on the latest picture, Ken. The Bigamist.
A filmmaker's production, right?
Yes, and my husband, Collier Young, thinks The Bigamist is going to be wonderful.
With you in it, I'm sure it will be, Joan. And I hope you're going to be able to have a vacation when this one's finished.
Well, I really haven't thought about a vacation, Ken. But I don't suppose I'd turn one down.
Well, I hope it works out for you, Joan. And thank you for being with us tonight.
It's been a pleasure. Good night, everybody.
General Electric Theater has brought you The Enchanted Cottage, starring Miss Joan Fontaine. Featured in tonight's cast were William Johnstone as Larry Penning, Tom Tully as Major Hill, Gloria Gordon as Mrs. Morgan, Lorene Tuttle as Diane Smallwood, and Dana Herlihy as Alex Smallwood. The Enchanted Cottage was written by Sir Arthur Pinero and adapted for radio by Walter Brown Newman, with editorial supervision by Het Mannheim and music by Wilbur Hatch. General Electric Theater was transcribed in Hollywood by Jaime Del Valle. This is Ken Carpenter inviting you to be with us next week at this same time when General Electric, makers of famous, dependable kitchen and home laundry appliances, will bring you Mr. Van Johnson in Old Man's Bride on the General Electric Theater. Join us, won't you?
This is the CBS Radio Network.
Direct from the glamour capital of the world, Hollywood presents Glamour Girl. Hello, this is your host, Larry Keating, welcoming you to Glamour Girl, the program that makes all those wonderful dreams come true. Because this is the show where we take a housewife, a mother, a schoolgirl, or a business girl, just some average lady from our studio audience, and before the end of the program, transform her into a glamour girl. A complete transformation. New makeup, hairstyling, grooming, dress. This creation of a thrilling and compelling new personality will all occur right here before the end of the program. Hollywood's most famous experts are waiting to perform this thrilling miracle. And what's more, they are going to tell you what they do and how they do it. So all of you are really potential glamour girls. Meet the man who glamorizes Hollywood's loveliest stars. The man who has enhanced the beauty of Paulette Goddard, Marlena Dietrich, and Jane Russell, who has won international acclaim as the world's most outstanding makeup authority and hairstylist.
This is Ern Westmore.
And here to gown our glamour girl, the designer who costumes some of Hollywood's finest productions, the designer who heaps one costuming triumph onto another, and who is helping to make the cinema capital, the style capital of the world, RKO's brilliant designer,
Renee.
And to keep you posted on the glamorous goings-on of Filmland stars, the editorial staff of Modern Screen magazine joins us to present Glamour Girl's Hollywood editor,
Shirley Thomas.
And now to select the Glamour Girl from the eager contingent on our stage. These ladies who are clustered about me were chosen from our audience just a moment ago. Now, each was given a toy balloon and a hat pin. Inside one of the balloons is the invitation to become our Glamour Girl. And inside each of the others, a valuable gift certificate. Ready with those hat pins, ladies? Yeah. All right. 1, 2, 3. It's all over. They broke them anyway. Well, the ladies have punctured their balloons way ahead of time, and they are eagerly searching to see which of them has the winning certificate. Anybody the winner so far? Has anybody found whether or not she's the winner?
Yeah.
Here she is! The lady who will become our Glamour Girl. Congratulations to our winner. And now, if you other ladies will be seated here on the stage and hold on to your precious gift certificates by all means, I'll gift you with some treasures in just a few moments. Well, congratulations. Now, on Glamour Girl, this is the spot for the first message from our sponsor. The challenging promise of the introductory to the program will hook listener attention and end on a note of expectation. To carry out the opening informality, the message will be delivered in a casual, friendly manner by yours truly, Larry Keating. This will avoid the obvious break of a formal announcement and give the message the added emphasis of personal recommendation. A little later, I want to tell you some exciting news about a contest Glamour Girl is holding. If you have a snapshot of yourself, that's all you'll need to enter the contest. On each broadcast, a lucky winner will be chosen and presented with an exquisite 17-jewel yellow gold wristwatch. But more of that later. First, let's get acquainted with our guest who has been chosen to become today's Glamour Girl. Step right up here, please, so we can learn all about our lucky winner. What's your name?
Anne Madalena.
Well, Anne, a kind fate is smiling at you. In fact, he's beaming. For you will receive our shower of attention and gifts and emerge before the end of the program a Glamour Girl.
It all sounds so wonderful. I'm just so excited.
Oh, and we know something else exciting, Anne. We know that this transformation in your appearance is going to give you a thrilling new personality. You'll have all the charm, the magnetism, the enchanting self-confidence that goes with beauty.
I still can't quite believe this. It's like in the movies.
Well, you'll be like someone out of the movies. We promise you that. Now, if you'll just be seated for a moment, I want everyone to meet a man named Westmore. To all of us, the names Ern and Bud Westmore are synonymous with beauty magic. With a talent that amounts to genius, they have heightened the loveliness of Hollywood's greatest stars. They are to be Glamour Girl's authorities on makeup and hairstyling. And to execute these stunning coiffures, the outstanding studio hairstylist, Eunice Proudlove. Here is today's authority on beauty, Ern Westmore. Well, Ern, what little tips and tricks have you to tell us today?
None, Larry.
Ern, you said...
That's it. I said none. No gags, no tricks, today, tomorrow, or any other day.
But, Ern, I thought that, well, gee, you know, beauty secrets and all that sort of thing, huh?
Well, Larry, there's only one word for all of those beauty secret routines. It's just plain hooey. I've helped women to be beautiful for the most exacting of all critics. It's the motion picture camera. I've done it for 25 years. I've made up some of the plainest and some of the loveliest women on earth. But you know, never once in all of that time have I ever used the term of secret or trick. In short, I believe in honesty and truth where this business of glamour is concerned. The truth is that in the makeup and hairstyling business, there are 3 basic steps in making a woman beautiful. They are the proper application of makeup, the proper distribution of color, and the redistribution of hair, plus the curve of an eyebrow and the shape of a mouth, and, Larry, that's all there is to it.
Why, Ern, that's positively revolutionary. You know, I don't know much about this stuff, but I always thought there had to be a lot of creams and lotions and mysterious formulas to take care of a lady's face.
Well, Larry, do you really want to know the only way to cleanse your skin?
I've often wondered, Ern. Will you tell me what is it?
It's with soap and warm water.
No.
Soap and just warm water.
Well, the things they're doing nowadays. Such honesty and straightforwardness. Why, this is something women have never heard before, Ern. The absolute bare facts about the business of beauty.
What I'll tell you with regard to the application of makeup applies to any cosmetic. You know, there are many campaigns that try to convince women that unless they use a certain brand of makeup, they can never achieve beauty. That, too, is just a lot of advertising hot air. I'd like the ladies to listen to the obvious truth for a change. I tell you that you can achieve the same effect with any brand of makeup, providing, of course, you use the right colors.
Well, Ern, when a cosmetician of your standing makes such a statement, we can expect to hear repercussions from Maine to Montana.
Well, why should I try to fool the ladies? I want them all to be attractive, which they can be simply by using the proper guidance and intelligence in caring for themselves.
Oh, the ladies are really going to love you for such frankness, Ern, of that you can be sure. Now, in the case of our guest, Anne Madalena, what do you plan to do to glamorize her?
If she'll just step up here to the microphone again. That's right.
Anne, this is Ern Westmore.
How do you do?
It's my pleasure. Now, the first step is to analyze the shape of the face. We always strive, of course, for the perfect oval. So with any face that is not oval, we apply cheek rouge, arch the brow, shape the mouth, and redistribute the hair, so it gives the illusion of an oval. There are 5 types of faces. Anne has what we classify as an oblong type. To her and to any of you with the oblong face, this is the Westmore technique for giving the illusion of a perfect oval. The rouge should be blended in the center of the cheek. The brow should not be arched too high. We'll make up her mouth a little fuller and dress her hair high and full on the sides.
Well, that certainly seems to cover the subject. Now, Anne, our director is going to hustle you off into the beauty booth, where the wardrobe mistress will start taking measurements and making all the preparations for this wonderful transformation.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Anne, and good luck. Now, Ern, is there any other word you'd like to add before you leave?
Well, just one, Larry, and that's eyebrows. I want to stress to all of you the importance of a natural and beautiful brow. Eyebrows should never be plucked to the point where the naturalness of this feature is destroyed. The full beauty of your eyes can only be brought out by a carefully graceful and natural curved brow. And I want all of you to remember that the next time that you have your tweezers in hand.
Oh, I don't think they're apt to forget now, Ern.
Well, Larry, I'd say that I'd better get back to our glamour booth and see what's going on because I've got a little work to do.
Yes, go to it, Ern. Show us what that famous Westmore touch can do with makeup. You know, Hollywood is, without question, the greatest single influence on American fashion. Because of the fabulous talent of their designers, we've come to depend upon pictures for the ultimate in gowning and grooming. The brilliant RKO studio designer, Renee, has blazed a star-studded reputation with her incomparable creations for Hollywood's most discriminating personalities. Meet RKO's lovely Renee.
Thank you, Larry. You know, this is the most stimulating challenge I've ever had, to help in this transformation of an average woman into a lovely glamour girl, and all in the matter of minutes.
Well, Renee, you think it can really be done in such a short time?
Oh, just you stick around this microphone for a little while, and you won't have to wonder. You're going to see living, walking proof of what we've said about glamorizing.
Oh, I have to hand it to you experts. As the old gag goes, give you 20 minutes and you'll do the impossible.
Well, maybe it does seem impossible to you, Larry, but let's reduce it to simple terms for a moment. In order to dress properly, a woman doesn't have to spend hours of her time and a small fortune. She only needs to do some clear thinking and planning. I'll make a promise to any woman listening that if she'll spend 15 minutes a day on her wardrobe and can arrange her budget to allow $10 a month for clothes, she can be a beautifully dressed woman.
Well, Renee, when you, as one of Hollywood's top designers, make such a statement, women are going to really sit up and take notice.
Well, that's exactly what I want. For every woman to realize that she can be smartly and properly groomed and gowned. If she knows her figure, the points to play up to advantage and those to minimize, she can choose the simplest, least expensive dresses and create a sensation.
How simple it sounds the way you tell it, Renee. But you're an expert. You know how to analyze and improve. Well, what about our listeners? How are they going to learn?
Well, just by listening to Glamour Girl, Larry. I'll tell them how to analyze their own figures, and once they know their problems, they can learn something new on each program by comparing their problems to the guest's problems.
Well, I guess that just proves that anything is simple when you know how. And believe me, Renee, you are the gal who's long on know-how.
Oh, well, thank you, Larry. I didn't have much chance to look at our Glamour Girl either, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Practically no girl that I know or no woman stands up properly. The first thing I'm going to do, thank you, Larry, is have her stand perfectly erect. Be sure that she carries herself well, because the loveliest dress in the world can be completely ruined by incorrect posture. Then I'm going to check her shoulder pads to be sure that I have exactly the correct width and height for her particular figure, because this one thing will help correct more figure faults than almost any other article that the dress has or can show. Then, if her hip line is a problem, as it so often is, I'm going to use a slight peplum on the dress and give some slight fullness to the skirt. And I think because she is short, she will have high-heeled shoes when she makes her next appearance. So if you'll pardon me, Larry, I will run along and take care of her.
Indeed we will. Thank you. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Renee, for those authoritative praises on fashion. You know, sometimes we don't quite know why the fancy of a whole nation is captivated by some new something. But in the case of songs by Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein, the answer is obvious. Just listen to Ford Brewer in the orchestra, and you'll see what I mean. The smash hit from Oklahoma, Surrey with the Fringe on Top.
When I take you out tonight with me, honey, here's the way it's gonna be. You will sit behind a team of snow white horses in the slickest gig you ever see. Chicks and ducks and geese better scurry when I take you out in the Surrey. When I take you out in the Surrey with a fringe on top. Watch that fringe and see how she flutters when I drive them high-stepping strutters. Nosy folks will peek through the shutters and their eyes will pop. The wheels are yellow, the upholstery's brown, the dashboard's genuine leather. With isinglass curtains you can roll right down in case there's a change in the weather. Two bright side lights a winking and a blinking. Ain't no finer rig, I'm a thinking. You can keep your rig if you're thinking that I'd care to swap for that shiny little Surrey with a fringe on the top.
At this point, the middle message from the sponsor will be delivered. The theme of Glamour Girl plays on the greatest of all feminine weaknesses, the quest for beauty. It has a potential listening audience, and how many women desire to become Glamour Girls? And that is what will prompt them to make a listening habit of Glamour Girl. Now, you know, we have a microphone leading right into the beauty booth. So now I'll check up and see how things in there are progressing. Ern Westmore, give us a brief report on progress of the glamorization of the young lady from Wilmington, will you?
Well, needless to say, Larry, we're working very busy back here, and I don't mind telling you that everybody's cooperating beautifully.
Well, that's grand, marvelous. Is the makeup completed yet on Miss Mandolina?
Almost. I'm just making up her lips at the moment. I won't be long.
Fine. Well, we just wanted to keep right up to date on all developments, Ern. We'll let you continue with your work now, since there's only about 10 minutes left for the completion of the transformation of our guest into a Glamour Girl. Now, right now, I want to talk with the 5 ladies who were runners-up to the Glamour Girl. I see each of you is holding that precious gift certificate you won in the ballroom at the beginning of the program. In the balloon, not the ballroom. You won it in the balloon. Well, come along up here, will you please, ladies, to the microphone, and let's see what those prizes are going to be. Undoubtedly, you've all been eyeing our gift tree over there to the right of the stage. It stands laden with presents for all of you. Now, those pretty ribbons tied to the tree have gifts attached to the other ends. So let's find out who wins what. Now, our first guest is... What is your name, please?
Dana.
Right over to the microphone, please, Mrs. Dana. Well, let's see what the gift tree holds for you, Mrs. Dana. Will you please bring the young lady's gift over here? Here it is. Just look as you're getting. You're getting 2 pair of nylons, Miss Dana. There you are. I hope they're your right size. This lovely vanity case. Will you open it, please?
Oh, is that for me?
That is for you. Oh, I should say it is. Isn't it lovely?
Oh, it's beautiful.
And here we have some recordings. Have you a phonograph?
Yes, I have.
Good. We hope this size fits your phonograph. There for you, and congratulations. Thank you a lot. Now... Oh, yes, we want to say that those lovely nylons that Miss Dana got were from the famous department store. And now here is our second guest this evening. And, of course, we have chosen some gifts for you from the tree. Your name is?
Mary Dear.
Is it Miss or Mrs. Mary Dear?
Miss.
Where is your hometown, Miss Dear?
Pasadena.
Pasadena? Were you born there?
Yeah, no, I wasn't. I was born in Glendale.
Oh, what a trip from Glendale to Pasadena. Well, celebrating your safe return from Glendale to Pasadena, we have some very delightful gifts for you. First of all, here are your 2 lovely pairs of nylons from the famous department stores, and a lovely set of records. It's a whole album, in fact. Oh. You're a music lover, I hope.
Oh, yes.
Those are for you, too. And this, I believe, is perfume. I hope it's your favorite color. Not color, but odor.
Green.
Thank you again. Green, the wrapping is her color, too. Thank you very much. And when you go back to Pasadena, don't forget you got a gift from Beverly Hills. That was from the Bon Voyage shop in Beverly Hills, and those capital recordings you're going to love. Now, Miss, your name, please?
Mrs. Eileen Levine.
Mrs. Eileen Levine, and are you a native daughter?
I'm from Galveston, Texas.
Galveston, Texas. Well, good old Galveston. Just 40 miles from Houston, isn't that right?
50.
50 miles. Well, they moved Houston a little further away since I was there. We have some gifts for you, too. Here they are. Of course, you get your nylons from the famous department stores. And here is a book. Do you like to read?
Oh, I do.
Have you seen this motion picture?
What is it?
It's Clooney Brown.
Oh,
the book
surely.
Clooney. You saw it? Did you like it? Well, let's hope you enjoy the book just as well. And here are some capital recordings for you, too, and our thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much.
Now, here is our 4th contestant, our 5th contestant, I should say. And your name, please?
Patricia Dosey.
Patricia Dosey, from where?
San Francisco.
Just visiting here?
Yes.
How long have you been here?
Oh, about a week and a half.
Well, aren't we lucky to have you on our program after being here for such a short time? Now for your gifts from our gift tree. These lovely nylons, of course, are yours. Here is some dusting powder. Dear Kiss, I believe. Are you fond of it?
Very.
And here is Bob Hope's recordings of the programs he made while overseas. I'm sure you'll enjoy them. Thank you very much. And now here is our last little guest. Of course, she is not our glamour girl because she is behind in our glamour booth being glamorized. What is your name, please?
Romero.
And what is your first name?
Hazel. Mrs. Hazel Romero.
Mrs. Hazel Romero. A native of California?
No, I've been here several years.
And how long have you been married?
About 11 and a half.
11 and a half years?
Yes.
Oh, my, such a young-looking girl to be married for that length of time. Well, we must give you your gifts now as a sort of belated wedding present. Will you bring them here, please? There are your nylons from Famous. Here are your recordings from Capitol, some lovely recordings. And here is some perfume Spellbound. Thank you very much for being with us. Congratulations. In this metropolis of movie makers, it takes an agile individual to keep pace with all the intriguing incidents. And when that informant is not only lively, but also lovely, well, that's news in itself. Now, here with all the facts and maybe a few rumors, gathered with the help of Modern Screen Magazine, is Glamour Girl's Hollywood editor, Shirley Thomas.
Thanks, Larry.
Well, Shirley, tell us, what's brewing on the back lots?
Say, I do well to keep up with the front lots. This has been a busy, busy day. I dropped in at Warner Brothers first thing this morning, and as I drove in the gate, the policeman tipped me off I'd find big doings on stage 4. And how right he was. The enormous sound stage was just buzzing with activity as I slipped in the side door. They were filming one of the first scenes in the new Betty Davis, Paul Henry picture Deception, and I could hardly believe what I saw and heard. The scene was a wedding, and everything looked right and proper until the music started. It was Lohengrin, all right, but played in swing time.
Lohengrin, huh? Well, Spike Jones could probably give out with a hot rendition, except that the wedding bells are apt to come out cowbells.
How appallingly true, Larry. Rosalind Russell was positively beaming when I met her in Romanoff's at lunchtime the other day, because her favorite cameraman, Joseph Walker, has been assigned to her new picture, My Empty Heart. In this business, the stars all know that a girl's best friend is her cameraman. In fact, I always remember an incident that happened to one of our biggest stars. She made a Technicolor epic quite some time ago, was quite pleased with the way she was photographed in it. Well, the same cameraman was assigned to one of her recent productions. But after seeing the first day's rushes, she cornered the cameraman in great displeasure. "What's wrong?" she demanded. "You photographed me beautifully in the last picture we did together, but this time I'm not at all pleased." The cameraman thought for a moment, then with a faint gleam in his eye replied, "Well, maybe it's because I'm 10 years older than I was when I photographed you before." The star forgot any further complaints.
Time marches on.
Yes, in filmland just as elsewhere. Well, the newest beauty trick to sweep like a tidal wave over Hollywood is the vogue for iridescent nail polish. You'll find it in your favorite brand, and it has a devastating look about it. In the pale pinky red shades, it's positively angelic. But look out for the fiery crimsons with that metallic glitter. They're nothing short of wicked. And Paulette Goddard passed on a little secret to me that might possibly interest you. She says that iridescent nail polish simply enchants the men. And with that romantic thought, I leave you.
Thank you, Shirley Thomas, for that glamorous close-up of Hollywood happenings. And now I think I'll risk another quick cut into the beauty booth. I can't wait to find out about this glamorization business. Now, if our engineer will switch controls and connect the microphone in there, I'll make a brief inquiry. All right, Renee, can you spare a moment to tell us what's happening?
Well, just one moment, Larry. I've had an inspiration about how to give our Glamour Girl's costume a dual function. It will be either a smart dinner outfit or a gay street dress.
Sounds like an interesting twist.
I haven't time to tell you any more now, Larry. We're rushing. In just a moment, we'll be out on the stage, and then I'll tell you about this trick of making 2 dresses out of 1.
Well, we've only a few moments to wait now until our guest reappears as a Glamour Girl. Ford Brewer and the orchestra again, this time with one of the most beautiful ballads ever to come from the pen of the prolific Irving Berlin, the very lovely They Say It's Wonderful.
They say that falling in love is wonderful. It's wonderful. So they say. And with a moon up above, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. So they tell me. I can't recall who said it. I know I've never read it. I only know they tell me that love is grand.
The closing message from the sponsor will be delivered at this spot before the climax of the program, thereby gaining the maximum of audience attention. Glamour Girl has a wide and general appeal to women, all women. Therefore, it is suitable for sponsorship by any product that sells to women. Now to put that snapshot of yours to use. Glamour Girl is holding a contest. The winners will be those of you who resemble a movie star. That's right. The only qualification is a resemblance to some person in pictures. Maybe you look like Irene Dunn or Ginger Rogers, Fay Bainter, Spring Byington, or Sarah Hayden. If you resemble any of the personalities in pictures, send in your snapshot to the Glamour Girl contest. Just write your own name and address and the name of the picture star you resemble on the back of the snapshot and mail it to Glamour Girl, Hollywood, California. We'll select and announce a winner on every broadcast and give her an exquisite 17-jewel yellow gold wristwatch. So dig out that snapshot, write it, your name and address on the back and the name of the star you resemble, and mail it to Glamour Girl, Hollywood, California. And perhaps you may win one of the lovely watches awarded during every program. Now here's the moment we've been waiting for. It's time for the return of our guest, the young lady who was chosen as our Glamour Girl. Ern Westmore, Renee, and the staff have been working at a furious pace to prove to us that any woman can be transformed in just 20 minutes into a real Glamour Girl. Well, this is a thrilling transformation. It's incredible. Well, look here. Young lady, your hair, your makeup, your dress, you've become a truly lovely Glamour Girl. You haven't seen yourself yet, or have you? Yes, here. Look into that full-length mirror and see what a stunning vision you are. Please do. Isn't that lovely? Yes. Well, just so... What do you think? Come on, tell me. What do you think of yourself in the mirror there?
Oh, I look fine.
You think you look better than before you went in?
Definitely.
Good. Well, just so everyone will know exactly what was done, Ern Westmore, will you give a thumbnail sketch of your part in the transformation, please?
Well, Larry, I found Miss Madeline even more promising than I'd ever expected. Her facial contours lent perfectly to makeup. And in styling her hair, it happened just exactly as I'd planned it.
Well, that's grand. Marvelous. The makeup and hairstyling are truly outstanding. Now, Renee, have you a word to add to this?
Yes, I'd like to tell you about the little trick I mentioned back in the booth. And that is how to transform this dinner dress into a day dress. I have a yard square piece of blue rayon. I'm draping one end over her left shoulder, securing it with a pin, covering the sequin trim on the one side of the dress, tucking the rest into the belt, and she has a very smart, very different street outfit.
Well, that's delightful, lovely. Well, young lady, come here. We must learn something about you. What is your name again, please?
Anne Madalena.
Is it Miss or Mrs.?
Miss.
And where are you from?
Wilmington.
Wilmington, California?
Yes, sir.
Were you born there?
No, sir. I came from Colorado.
How long ago?
About 2.5 years ago.
Well, and here you are glamorized on our program. We're awfully happy to have you with us. And to help you remember this thrilling day, this milestone in your life, Miss Madeleine, please accept with our kindest wishes the lovely gown that Renee has described, created by the Letty Lee Dress Company, also the black suede pumps styled for Mandels by the master designer Polizzo, 2 pairs of Shira's 51-gauge nylons from the famous department stores, this exquisite black suede handbag from Saks Fifth Avenue in Beverly Hills. And from Corette of California, this stunning casual wardrobe of a rooter jacket, gird slacks, trick shorts, and the jewel neck jersey blouse. Now there! Aren't those lovely? What do you think of them?
Wonderful.
And look, don't forget this bag that is being offered you here.
Oh, goodness. All too much.
This is really too much. This is too much. Well, good luck with your good looks, and come back to visit us soon to tell us of the exciting changes this transformation brings about in your life. And thank you, Renee. Thank you, Ern Westmore.
Thank you.
Glamour Girl, now with your dream fulfilled, we wish you all joy and goodbye.
Until tomorrow, until another lucky lady is transformed into a lovely lady, this is Larry Keating saying so long to every one of you potential Glamour Girls. Glamour Girl premiered in Hollywood under the supervision of Shirley Thomas and was produced by Walter White. This is a Commodore production.
Great Scenes from Great Plays, with your host, Walter Hamden, and starring tonight Miss Joan Caulfield in Little Women. Each week at this time, the Episcopal families of your own community and the Episcopal Actors Guild invite you to share the dramatic inspiration of great scenes from great plays as transcribed by famous artists of stage, screen, and radio. And now, here is your host, the distinguished actor-manager, Mr. Walter Hamden.
Thank you, and good evening. One of the most beloved stories in all our literature is Louisa May Alcott's Little Women, and with good reason, I believe, for though our homes today may be very different from the March family home in the story, still the laughter, the happy moments, and the sad ones in the lives of Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy are mirrors of youth the world over. Tonight we are honored to have in the role of the forthright, impetuous Jo, who wants to play big brother to her sisters and keep the family together, the delightful young star of stage and screen, Miss Joan Caulfield.
Thank you, Mr. Hamden. And because I've always wanted to play Jo, ever since I first read about her in Little Women, I'm especially pleased about being with you in tonight's play. I hope it will bring back for everyone listening the same happy memories Jo brings to me.
I'm sure it will, Joan. And we're also happy to have with us tonight Betty Caulfield as Amy and Stephen Schnabel as Professor Bear. So let us raise the curtain now on Little Women. The March family house is big and old and somewhat shabby, and it rests in a dignified, if slightly lopsided position, well back from the tree-shaded street in a small New England town. When we first meet the March girls, it's a Christmas Eve in the early 1860s. In the parlor, a bright fire is crackling in the old-fashioned hearth, casting its warm glow on the lovely faces of the four sisters gathered round. On womanly Meg, the eldest.
It is indeed dreadful to be poor at Christmas time.
On blonde Amy, the youngest.
I agree with you, Meg. I think it's utterly unfair for some girls to have all the pretty things they want and others nothing at all.
On shy and gentle Beth, bending over her embroidery.
Well, at least we have father and mother and each other.
And on Jo. Harum-scarum Jo with the flashing gray eyes and the beautiful brown hair and the flyaway look to her clothes.
Oh, Christopher Columbus, we haven't got father.
Sure.
Well, we haven't, Meg. Not while he's away at the wars, we don't. Father said it was his bounden duty as a chaplain to be with the suffering soldiers. Well, Christopher Columbus, who said it wasn't? All I wish is he could have taken me along with him, that's all. Oh, Jo, you aren't serious. Oh, am I not, though? When Johnny comes marching home again, hooray, hooray. Jo! What's the matter? I wish you wouldn't shout, Jo. It's so dreadfully boyish. Oh, fiddlesticks. It's a perfectly lovely way to express your feelings. Especially when your feelings are all hungry. Oh, Mommy will be home soon, Jo, and then we'll have some nice tea and toast. I know, kitten. I was just mourning the perfectly bully breakfast Mommy gave away this morning. I can still smell those buckwheat cakes. Oh, I'm glad Mommy gave away my Christmas breakfast to those poor Hummel people. I wouldn't have enjoyed a bite, knowing all the while that a whole family was starving. Just you wait and see, Meg. Mother won't have to work so hard anymore, and Christopher Columbus. What's the matter, Jo? Well, the play. We've forgotten all about the play. Oh, Jo, not again. Oh, Jo, we've been rehearsing your old play every day for a week. Well, you don't want it to be all bumbly and fumbly again for Mommy, do you? Well, we'll start with the fainting scene. You're stiff as a poker in that, Amy. I can't help it, Jo. I never saw anyone fainting. And besides, I'm all black and blue now from tumbling around. From now on, if I can go down easily, I'll drop. If I can't, I shall fall into a chair and be graceful. Christopher Columbus, you can't faint into a chair, Amy. People don't faint into nice, soft chairs. They faint right down on the floor with a plop, like this. Oh, Jo. Get up, Joe, quick. There are two gentlemen at the front door. Well, let them in. How do you do?
How do you do?
Won't you come in?
Thank you.
Oh, Joe, do get up. I know you. You're the boy from across the street.
I'm Laurie. And you're the one they call Joe.
Oh, how bully of you to... Oh, excuse me. Well, this is my sister, Meg.
How do you do, Miss Meg?
How do you do?
I always watch your games, Miss Joe. Oh, excuse me. This is my tutor, Mr. Brooke.
How do you do, Mr. Brooke?
How do you do? Master Laurie will explain our presence here, Miss Meg.
What? Oh, I am here with the compliments of my grandfather. My grandfather heard about the breakfast you gave away this morning and asked, wouldn't you please, as a favor to a lonely old man on Christmas, accept this dinner?
Oh, thank you.
If you should ever want to borrow my bicycle, Miss Joe...
Master Laurie.
Oh, hey, excuse me. And the very best of Christmases to you, one and all, from us. One and all.
Merry Christmas.
Good day, ladies.
Oh, Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas. Oh, how nice of Mr. Brooke. Christopher Columbus. A whole plummy Christmas dinner. Look at that. And look here. Oh, I smell plum pudding. And I smell turkey. Oh, wait until Mommy sees this. Oh, Meg, isn't it just a Brooke? Well, what's the matter with her? He had such lovely manners. Oh, Christopher Columbus, a whole beautiful Christmas dinner standing here before us, and you start mooning about it. Oh, let's get the food on the tables before Mommy gets here.
Joe, as you can see, was not one for sentiment. At least, not yet. Jo considered herself the man of the family, now that Father March was away. I was inclined to look with a rather scornful eye on such girlish fancies as manners and fashion and parties and balls.
Joe! Oh, Joe, look. A regular note of invitation from Mrs. Gardner for tomorrow night. Isn't that wonderful, Joe? Oh, what shall we wear?
What's the use of asking what, Meg?
When you know we should wear our poplars because we haven't got anything else. I don't see how we can go on calmly eating apples at a time like this, Joe. Oh, if I only had a silk dress.
Christopher Columbus, I forgot. My dress is burnt in the back, and it shows horribly.
Oh, dear. Well, then you'll just have to sit still all you can and keep your back out of sight. Now, let me see. I'll wear a ribbon in my hair, and my gloves are clean. Well, they aren't as nice as I'd like.
Oh, mine are spoiled with lemonade, so I shall have to go without.
Oh, Joe, you can't go without gloves. I'd be mortified if you did.
Oh, I can hold them crunched in my hand so no one will see. No, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll each wear one good and carry one bad. Then no one will know. Isn't that good?
Oh, but Joe, your hands are bigger than mine, and you'll stretch my gloves dreadfully.
Oh, then I'll go without.
Oh, all right. All right. You may have my glove, only don't dirty it. And don't keep saying Christopher Columbus, and do act like a lady, will you?
I'll be as prim as a dish of prunes.
Jill tried so terribly hard to be prim and sedate that before the party was half over, she was bored to tears. Her only moment of fun came when she stuffed her pockets with cake to take home to Beth and Amy. No one could say that Jo didn't look after her family. In fact, sometime after the party, on a particular April morning, her family was very much on her mind as she hurried out of a strange-looking building downtown.
Oh, Laurie, how did you know I was upstairs?
I trailed you.
You had no right to, Laurie. You had no right to.
Well, I just wanted to make sure no harm came to you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Laurie, but I wanted it to be a secret.
Even from me?
Yes.
If you tell me, Jo.
I can't, Laurie.
I'll tell you one.
What's it about?
Not until you tell yours.
Well, but you mustn't tell now. Not a soul.
Oh, I won't.
Well, I've sold a story, Laurie.
What?
I have. I've been taking my stories up to this newspaper upstairs, Laurie, and first he said I needed more practice, and after a while he seemed to like them more, and now I've sold one. Oh, think of it, Laurie. I actually sold a story for $1.50. Isn't it magnificent?
Oh, I'll say. When are you going to tell your family?
Oh, that's just it, Laurie. I want to surprise them. I'm going to buy something for Marmee with the money. Every time I sell a story, I'll get something for somebody in the family. So it'll make things easier at home, don't you see? Oh, I'm so happy, Laurie. I'm so happy I can do something for them all at last. Now, what's your secret?
Well, you'll be surprised when you hear it.
Well, what is it?
Well, remember the picnic we had last week and we couldn't find Meg's glove?
You mean the time your tutor came along with us? Yes.
Well, I know where the glove is.
You do?
Yeah.
Where is it?
In his pocket.
Whose pocket?
Brooks.
Your tutor's pocket?
Yep.
All this time?
Yep. Ain't it romantic?
No. No, it's not. It's not romantic. I think it's horrid.
Horrid? Why, Joe.
He's trying to spoil everything. That's what he's trying to do. And I won't let him. I won't.
Well, Joe.
He's trying to break up our family and take Meg from us, but I won't let him. Never, never, never. Well, Meg, I suppose your John will be coming around soon. He does every day now, for one excuse or another.
Don't say my John. It isn't proper or true. And I've told you I don't care about him, so please let's not say any more about it.
Any more about it? Christopher Columbus, everything's spoiled already. And soon he'll be pussyfooting around asking you to marry him. And you'll say yes, and the family will be a shambles.
Really, Joe, don't be so childish. Besides, I can't say anything till he speaks.
And when he does, you'll probably burst into tears and say, oh, yes, John, yes.
Oh, don't be silly.
Well, if you ask my advice.
Oh, there's Mommy calling now. And I'll thank you not to discuss Mr. Brooke in such a silly way anymore, Josephine March.
All right, but don't you go being silly and dashing over them. Coming, Marmee.
Now, Mommy's running toward us. Something's the matter.
No.
Mommy.
No, you're not to get excited, children. You're not to get excited. What's the matter, Mommy? What's happened? Get better, Amy. Mommy, what? A telegram?
Let me see, Joe. Your husband's very ill in Washington Hospital. Come at once.
Oh, no.
I think everything you'll need is packed now, Mother.
Thank you, May.
I put your shawl in, Marmee. I thought you would want your shawl with you.
Yes, dear, that was very wise.
Oh, why doesn't Joe get back? She went to Aunt March's hours ago. Maybe Aunt March won't lend her the money.
Now, let's not get nervous, children. Let's not any of us get nervous. With the door down. Oh, but there's Joe now.
Oh, Joe wouldn't ring the bell. It couldn't be. Oh, Mr. Brooke.
Won't you come in?
Oh, yes. I'm very sorry to hear of this, Mrs. March.
Thank you, Mr. Brooke. You're very kind.
I've come to tell you that I'm going along.
Going along?
To Washington?
Why, yes, Mr. Lawrence has a commission for me in Washington, and I've come to offer myself as escort.
Oh, you're too kind.
Oh, not at all. I merely happen to be going to
You're
Washington.
wonderfully kind. John?
Oh, Meg. Oh, Meg, do you really think so?
Yes, John.
Oh, am I too late? I ran all the way. Joe, child, you're all out of breath. Oh, Joe! I look different, don't I?
She's cut off all her hair.
Oh, Joe, you look awful. You look like a toothbrush. Well, I don't care. The man gave me $25 for it. $25? Oh, here, Mother. It's for the trip. Aunt March wouldn't get... Joe. My dear Joe. So what's everybody standing around for? What are we all staring at? We got the money, didn't we? You don't think I mind about my hair, do you?
Well, they say that time fixes everything. Joe's beautiful brown hair grew back in time, and Father March got well again, and in time Meg forgot Joe's warning not to spoil things and said yes to John Brooke. And Joe began to feel a strange restlessness he had never known before.
I don't understand, dear. You want to leave her? You want to go away altogether? It's not quite that, Mother. It's... Oh, Mother. Well, try to explain it to me, Joe, and
I'll try to understand.
Well, Meg's gone now, and Aunt March has asked Amy to go to Europe with her for the summer.
But it will be a wonderful opportunity for Amy.
I know, Mother. And there really isn't enough for me to do around here, Mother, anymore. And I thought of going to New York.
New York?
Oh, now, please, don't start shaking your head,
Oh,
Mother.
no.
Oh, your dear friend, Mrs. Kirk, is in New York, and she's been writing and writing for someone to teach her children, and besides, I'd be doing something to help. Oh, Mother, I've got to do something for the family, or I shall simply die.
All right, dear. All right, Joe. I understand.
Joe went to New York, and at first, in the big, unfamiliar city, Joe was a stranger to everyone, and everyone was a stranger to her, and she was lonely. But one evening, as Joe was coming home from another of her visits to the newspaper editors, she passed a certain door on the second floor of Mrs. Kirk's boarding house.
Oh, dear.
Good evening.
Oh.
You knocked, Fräulein?
Oh, no. I mean, it was my umbrella. It knocked.
Ah, I see.
I was just going by, and I happened to stop for a moment. Your song was so pretty.
You are lonely.
Lonely? Oh, good heavens, no, I'm never lonely. I am new here.
Ah, yes. I, too, am new here, Fräulein. Allow me, Professor Peer of Vienna. I'm here to teach.
And allow me, I am Josephine March. I am here to write.
Oh, so.
Well, I guess I'd better be getting upstairs. I have so much to do,
Miss March.
Yes?
Perhaps, sometime when you have not so much to do, you said that you write. You will allow me to read the stories you write sometime when you're free.
Oh, you can read them right now. You can read them right this minute. Don't you move now. I'll be back in a second.
But Joe, Miss March, well, I don't see what is so funny.
It's those socks.
Well, I don't know what is wrong with those socks. I mended them very well, I think.
Too well. Look, these black ones mended with white wool, and these blue ones with brown wool, and these brown ones
Well, I never seem to have the wool and the socks together at the same time.
Well, I can see that. Oh, your socks are a disgrace, Professor Bear.
I'm sorry.
From now on, I will mend them for you.
But you do...
In return for the German you've been teaching me.
Oh, that I like.
I warn you, I still know very little German.
And I warn you, I have very many socks. No, Miss March, no.
No?
No.
Well, the editor of the Weekly Volcano seems to think it's pretty good. In fact, he says my stories are going over very well indeed.
Then let me congratulate you that they go over.
Thank you. Oh, what's wrong with it?
Everything.
Everything? The editor of the Weekly Volcano says it... Well, what is wrong with it?
Well, the characters are not from life. One.
Well, they can do more exciting things that way.
That is true. Now, let me see. Yeah, here. The Witch's Curse.
The editor of the Weekly Volcano says it's a stunning title.
I see here 3 murders, 1 suicide, 2 kidnappings, 1 fire in the house, 1 fire out of the house, and here the other one. The Curse of the Coventrys.
Well, the Curse of the Coventrys paid the butcher's bill at home, and a phantom hand put down a new carpet. And I expect the witch's curse to send my sister Beth to the seashore for a month.
Oh?
She isn't well.
Oh, forgive me.
No, that's quite all right.
No, I'm not all right. I'm all wrong, and I'm stupid besides. Well, I don't imagine you will ever want to talk to me again now. I don't see why you should. I wouldn't want to either. There might be somebody in New York more stupid than I, but I don't know who it is. Probably nobody.
Oh, all right, all right. Please don't look so mournful. I forgive you.
You do. You are very talented, very kind, very good, very... I am very hungry.
Oh, honestly?
I tell you what. Let us celebrate by having a wonderful dinner in a wonderful restaurant. We will have music and wine and... What's the matter?
When did this get here?
What?
This telegram. It's for me. I didn't see it here on the hall table. Oh, no.
What is it? What is the matter?
It says...
Your little sister?
It says, come at once. But that can't be, Beth. You must get well. You will.
No, Joe. I won't. Oh, I want to. I can't tell you how much I want to. Every day I lose a little more of life. It's like the tide, Joe. When it turns, it goes slowly. But it can't be stopped.
Oh, no, Beth. You're too young. I won't let you go. I'll work and pray and fight. Oh, there must be ways. It can't be too late, Beth.
Joe, you'll stand by Father and Mother.
I won't let you say such things.
Oh, I wish I could say I'm glad to go. But I love life so.
Please, Beth, don't.
I don't know how to express myself. And I shouldn't try to anyone but you, Joe. But I've just got to tell you this. That all along, I felt it was not intended I should live long.
Oh, don't.
No, please don't stop me. Oh, I'm not like the rest of you. I never made any plans about what I'd do when I grew up. I never thought of being married as you all did. I couldn't seem to imagine myself anything but stupid little Beth, trotting about at home, of no use anywhere but there. I never wanted to go away. And the hard part now is leaving you all. I'm not afraid, but it seems as if I should be homesick for you. Even in heaven.
Oh, Beth, Beth, darling.
How am I to tell you what happened now? By and by, the needle with which Beth loved to embroider became too heavy, and soon she put it down forever. Sometimes it seemed as though Joe would break down completely. And so the spring days came and went, the sky grew clearer, the earth greener, the flowers were up fair and early, and the birds came back in time to say goodbye to Beth. And no one in the world seemed so alone as Joe was then.
Why don't you try to write, Joe? Writing always used to make you happy.
I've no heart to write, Mother.
Perhaps if you just tried.
It's no use. Nobody'd care for the sort of things I'd want to say now anyway.
Well, we would. Your father and Meg and John and Amy and Laurie. Joe.
Yes, Mother?
I got a letter from Amy.
I know.
She met Laurie in Paris. They said they're engaged.
I know.
Joe.
Yes, Mother?
Oh, were you ever... did you...
If you're trying to ask me, was I ever in love with Laurie, Mother? No. Not Laurie.
Not Laurie? Joe.
Oh, Mother, please. Please, I don't want to talk anymore. I can't talk anymore.
The weeks went by, spring turned to summer, and summer to fall, and winter came. But nothing seemed to change with Jo. Despair seemed to have settled upon her, and a loneliness that nothing seemed to shake. And then it was Christmas again. The whole family, Amy and Laurie, Meg and John, Father and Mother, were gathered in the parlor around the old-fashioned piano when there was a knock on the door. Jo went to open it.
Good evening, Miss March.
Frederick, I mean Professor Bear.
Am I intruding?
Intruding? Oh, you don't know how... Oh, do come in, come in.
But you seem to have a party. Maybe I'd better come back some other time.
Oh, no, don't go. I mean, it's no party, it's just the family. Do come in and meet them, please.
You have been ill, my friend.
Ill?
You're so pale.
Oh, I'm afraid I've been sad. But everything's going to be all right now. And we have a new bride in the family.
A new bride? Miss March, you are not...
Oh, no, not me. My sister Amy. She got married in Paris to our dear friend Laurie.
Then you are...
Yes, Frederick.
Jo, I never dared to hope. I tried to stay away. Jo, my dear, you are crying.
Oh, no, I'm not, Frederick. I'm not crying at all. I'm just... Oh, welcome home, darling. Welcome home.
This is Walter Hamden, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be back in a moment to tell you about next week's play. But first, an important message I know you'll want to hear.
It doesn't matter whether your family is large or small. If it's united by steadfast, unselfish love, it's far better able to withstand the stresses and problems of modern life. And this is especially true when your family also shares a sincere love of God and lives as nearly as possible according to the teachings of our Lord Jesus Christ. Tonight's tender and dramatic scenes from Little Women were chosen to show how one family found happiness and security through such a combined love, in spite of being very poor, in spite of a steady succession of illnesses, accidents, and other typical family tribulations. Today, of course, it's especially difficult to keep families together, both physically and spiritually. There are so many other things outside the family that are intriguing, that tend to develop ever wider family separations. But regardless of all the disturbing factors in our modern world, families can be strong, happy, and secure within themselves when the entire family bases its operations on sincere devotion to each other and to God through the church. If you and your family are members of some church, you already know from your own experience that this is true. If you're not church members, may we urge you to find out for yourselves just how much strength and security you can get as a family and individually when you receive the kind of education and guidance that only the church and an experienced clergyman can give. Perhaps you'll be able to find the help you need in the Episcopal Church. You are always welcome at your nearest Episcopal church, and its clergyman is always ready and eager to give you whatever help you may require. To help you know something about the Episcopal Church and how it offers you a faith with which to find security and happiness in these difficult times, we have prepared an informative booklet called Finding Your Way. It'll be sent to you promptly if you'll simply write your name and address on a postcard and mail it to the station to which you are listening.
I'd like to thank our cast for a most delightful performance. And especially you, Joan Caulfield, for bringing the immortal Joe back to life again. Next week, friends, we shall present one of the most popular stories of all time, Charles Dickens's thrilling A Tale of Two Cities. And here to play the role of Sidney Carton, the man who gave his life for the woman he loved, will be the well-known star of stage and screen, Mr. Brian Ahern. I hope you'll join us. And now, an invitation from the Episcopal Church.
The Episcopal Church in your community cordially invites you to attend services this Sunday morning. If you're not familiar with the location of your nearest Episcopal church or of the hours of service, you'll find both listed in your local newspaper or church directory. Your rector will be happy to have you join the Episcopal family. You'll find him waiting to welcome you personally when the services are concluded.
Greatest story ever told. Presented by the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. Tonight we present The Lost Sheep, a drama of repentance and forgiveness based on a teaching from the greatest life ever lived. Our scene is a hillside just beyond Jerusalem where a crowd is gathered to hear the Master teach. But there are several men there who have not come to learn, only to observe and to criticize. Two such men look around, and then one says,
Yes, Micah, it's true what we heard. You can see them, you can pick them out. Then shall this be allowed to continue, Amos? Whoever it was that said there are more sinners at the Master's feet than there are in the jail of Jerusalem was right. What are you going to do about it? Come, a little closer to the Master. We'll ask him a thing or two. Can asking do it, Amos? If we confront him with the fact that among his followers there are sinners, he may drive them out. If he does that, he'll have lost this reputation he has for kindness and love for all people. Come along. We'll talk to Peter, one of his followers. Peter? Peter?
You call me friend? Can I help you?
Yes, Peter. I'm a man greatly distressed. I'd like to follow the Master, but there's one thing that stands in my way.
Well, if you explain, I may be able to help.
Well, Peter, I've lived in Jerusalem a long time. I know many people. That man there, for instance, his name is Benjamin. The last time I saw him, he was being taken from the court to carry out a sentence for thievery.
I don't know the man, but it's possible.
And there are others here that I recognize, with records equally as bad. How can I follow a teacher who receives sinners? Would I not be losing stature by mixing with them?
The Master can ease your mind about that. Come.
Come, Micah, just the opportunity we've been waiting for.
Master, there's a man among us who would ask you a question. Amos, speak to the Master.
Master? You say you teach the Word of God. Now, that may be, but if so, is it fit that you should teach to sinners? Oh, yes, there are sinners here in our midst, but you do not drive them away. You who teach of good things in God, why do you associate with sinners? Well, Master, can't you answer?
Please, Amos. The Master's thinking about your question. Perhaps even now he's phrasing in his mind a parable, which may help you to understand.
Or perhaps he's trying to act as though he didn't hear me. Oh, I do the same myself when I don't want to answer an embarrassing question.
Amos, if you're going to laugh...
Violence, Peter. Well, Master, what about your friends, the sinners?
Tell him, Master. A parable. He'd understand a parable.
How think ye, if a man have 100 sheep, and one of them be gone astray, doth he not leave the 99, and goeth into the mountains, and seeketh that which is gone astray?
Joram, you can stop playing that flute now.
I'm sorry, Elisha. But at night when we're out here in the field, there isn't much else to do.
Well, you should have thought of that before you apprenticed yourself to a shepherd. You wouldn't even be here if my brother hadn't... Oh, never mind. Go back to playing on that flute if you have to.
Elisha.
Yes?
I don't like to ask, but every time you begin to talk about your brother, you never finish what you're saying.
So?
Well, why?
If you showed as much interest in the sheep as you do in trying to find out about my brother, I'd have more faith in you as a shepherd.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to know.
Well, you won't. Now, if you insist on making some kind of noise, play that flute. But don't talk.
I'm sorry.
Shh. Quiet, Tophet, quiet.
Tophet growls there's always something wrong. Prowlers, even foxes.
It's nothing, just a sound in the night.
Maybe I better put out the fire. It's safer in the dark.
There's nothing to be afraid of, I tell you. Now, sit there, quietly.
Yes, Elisha. When I look up at those stars, I think to myself, David once saw those same stars as a shepherd boy, and he grew to be king of Israel. I wonder what it's like to be a king.
Well, that was in other days. Now only Romans are king.
We'll have our own king again one day. You'll see.
And it'll be you, I suppose.
Oh, not me. But it might be another shepherd boy. Why, once my father said... It is something, Elisha.
Tophet, go, after them.
Tophet will scare them away if anything can.
Yes, a good dog and trained to deal with poachers.
But they might hurt him.
No danger of that with Tophet. He's too smart for them. Just wait.
I don't hear anything.
You will.
I don't hear anything yet.
Yeah. There is something wrong. But he couldn't have lost them. Once he's got the scent, he doesn't lose it.
Well, maybe they bribed him with a piece of fresh meat or something.
No, Tophet would rather starve than take food from the hands of a stranger. I train him that way. Tophet, I told you to get them.
Why, the way he's acting, you'd think he'd met a friend.
Elisha!
My mother. Mother! Is that you?
Yes, Elisha. I was almost lost. If it hadn't been for Tophet, I would have been. I thought I'd never find you.
What are you doing here, wandering the hills at this time of night?
I had to find you, Elisha. It's important. Very important.
Nothing should be important enough to make you leave the cottage at night. Now rest here by the fire and tell me.
In front of the boy.
Well, what's to be said that can't be said in front of the boy?
Please, Elisha, I know how you feel about this certain thing. Ask the boy to leave us.
All right, Mother. Joram.
Yes, Elisha?
Walk off a way, out of hearing. My mother and I want to talk here by the fire. But keep a lookout.
I'll be careful.
You'd better be. In such darkness, a lamb or two can be lost very easily.
Yes, sir, I'll be careful. I'll be close by if you want me.
Well, Mother, what is it? What do we have to talk about that's so secret?
Elisha, you won't get angry.
How do I know? You haven't even told me what it is. Oh, Mother, not that again.
Before you say anything, listen to me.
I won't do anything for him. If he's in trouble, he'll get out of it himself or rot in jail.
He's not in trouble.
Then what does he want from us? He only comes around when he's done something wrong.
Elisha, listen to me. Your brother Daniel is back.
What?
Even now, he's in the cottage waiting for me to bring him word of what you'll say.
What does he want?
He only wants to live with us again. He wants a home and a chance to prove that he's able to do his share of the work now.
I don't believe it.
He told me, and I believe it.
The answer is still no.
Elisha.
Mother, I'd do anything for you, but not that. I was the one who worked hard. I stayed here and took care of the flock while Daniel went off and got into all sorts of trouble. Even now, I'm sure he's escaping from the authorities. And as soon as he thinks they're not looking for him anymore, he'll go away as he's gone before.
It's not right to doubt your own brother that way.
I'm only measuring him by the standard he set himself. He's not to be trusted. He's a liar, a cheat, dishonest.
Elisha.
I'm sorry, Mother. I know how it must hurt you to realize it. But Daniel will never have the chance to make a fool of me again. Whatever he wants from now on, he'll work for. And he can start right now, but not in my fields or in my house. I want no part of it.
Your fields, your house, your father's house. He's as much your father's son as you are.
It's a good thing my father never lived to see his favorite son turn out to be a thief.
You won't forgive?
No, I won't.
But if you'd only...
Elisha! Elisha!
That's Joram. It must be trouble. What is it, Joram? What's happened?
One of the lambs. Lost. I tried to follow it, but I couldn't see.
Foolish boy. I knew I couldn't trust him.
Before you go, Elisha, say your brother can stay.
No, Mother, and I can't talk to you about it any longer. I've got to find the lamb that's lost.
Now, in the middle of the night? Wait till dawn, at least.
It will have strayed too far by that time. I'll have to go searching for it now. Go back to the house, Mother, and have that brother of mine out of there by daylight.
Please, Elisha.
You heard what I said. Have him out of there by morning. Now I have to go. Joram! Joram! Where are you? I told you to be careful, you little fool.
Elisha, I said I'm sorry.
Well, enough talk. stick to the count.
I tell you, one of the lambs is lost. Why count?
Because at night the moon on this hill plays tricks. Sometimes the shadow looks like a lamb. And what you thought you saw straying off may well have been nothing. What's the count so far?
88.
Now keep a sharp watch, and I'll signal them out and keep the count. 89. Get over there. Go on. 90. 91. 92. 93. That's right, Tophet. Get him in line. 94. 95. 96.
And you see, there are only 3 left. That makes 99. I told you one was missing.
All right, so you told me. If you'd been less busy telling me and more vigilant with the sheep, this wouldn't have happened.
What are you going to do now?
What can I do? Go look for it.
Oh. Well, I could go.
And who'd find you when you got lost? No, you stay with the flock and I'll go.
You're not afraid? Oh, I'd be afraid.
No, I'm not afraid.
It can be dangerous up in the hills at night. Pits to fall into, branches to trip over. You've still got 99 sheep. Why risk your life for one little lamb?
Because it's my work. A shepherd can't allow a lamb to stray out there alone in the night. And if you've ever heard the cry of a lost lamb, you know it's the sorriest sound in the world. No shepherd worthy of his bread and broth would let that happen. I'll go and take Tophet along with me. You watch the others and make sure no more are lost.
All for one lamb. It doesn't make sense.
It makes sense to me. Now stay here and be more careful. Tophet. Joram, if I'm not back by dawn, take the flock down to the cottage. I'll meet you there. But be careful. Is that you, Mama?
Yes, Daniel.
Well, you spoke to Elisha?
Please, Daniel. You have to understand your brother. Being a shepherd and having so much time to himself, he broods a great deal. And in his mind, he makes things seem worse than they really are.
You're trying to tell me that he said no.
He might change his mind.
I know Elisha too well for that.
Daniel.
Maybe I'd better leave. What's the use?
You don't have to leave till dawn. Why not sleep here tonight? And in the morning I'll fix you a hot meal and you'll go refreshed and strong. Stay the night, please.
Could I sleep here? Could I rest, knowing how my own brother feels about me?
Stay for my sake. Please, Daniel.
All right, Mother. Till morning.
You can sleep on the same lambskins your father selected for you when you were a boy. They're still soft and warm, son.
Mama, you're so good to me. Better than I ever deserved. To think of all the trouble I've caused you, the shame.
Now, it was nothing.
Oh, I know how it must have hurt you for everyone to know about me. And you defended me. I know you did.
And why not?
Because I'm no good. No good.
Daniel, you just made a mistake. If you were no good, you'd have gone on making mistakes, but you didn't. You came back. You've changed. I can see it. So don't tell me you're no good. I know better. And now you'll get some sleep. And in the morning you'll go elsewhere. You'll find a place where you can live a good life. Don't worry, Daniel. I have faith in you.
My father, he had faith, too. Remember, Mama, when he used to make Elisha and me stand before him, and he put his hands on our heads and said, "These are the 2 pillars of my house. On them it rests." And now there's only one pillar. Only one, Mama.
Please, Daniel, some sleep. You need that most of all now.
know, Tophet. It doesn't make sense to call out to a lost lamb as you would to a man, but how else can you make them know you're near? Come on, a little further. Well, Tophet, did you pick up the scent of that lamb? Come on, try. You get it, boy? Do you? Good. Go on. Lead the way. Go, Tophet, go. Good boy, Tophet, you found him. Now, if I can get through these bushes and this underbrush. Keep after him, Tophet. Ah, there he is. And now, Tophet, don't scare him any more than he's scared already. Come now. Ah, you don't have to be afraid of me. Come on. Oh, I see now. You're caught on the brambles. Easy now. There, you're free. Tophet, his little heart is beating as hard as a blacksmith's blows. No, nothing to be afraid of. You're safe now. Come. Up you go. Over my shoulder. There. That's right. Good boy, Tophet. You found him. Good boy. Now, let's go back. Home, boy. Home. Oh. Tophet, I tripped. I fell. My back. Can't move. I can't. Tophet. Home. Go home. I said go home. Home. Don't you understand? I need help. Help. He doesn't understand. Go home, Tophet. Get help. I can't move. Go back. Get help. He doesn't understand. He won't leave me. Help. Help. Help.
You'd better eat more, Daniel. It may have to last you all day.
And all the time you keep your eye on the door. You're afraid Elisha will return. He said to get me out by daybreak, didn't he?
Please, Daniel, don't make it any more difficult than it already is. Eat. Oh, Elisha.
Let him come in. I'm not afraid of him.
Please, no harsh words between you and your brother. Come in, Elisha. Come in. Joram. You? Where's Elisha?
Please, Judith, don't be angry with me. I didn't mean to lose the lamb. It just happened.
Didn't Elisha find it? Where is he?
I'm afraid something awful must have happened. He didn't come back. He told me to meet him here with the flock by dawn, and he's not here.
He was supposed to be back this morning?
Yes. He said to meet him here. So I'm sure something's happened.
Wandering the hills in the dark of night, I warned him. Daniel, what do we do?
Do? We'll have to find him.
Well, you know where.
Oh, it's been a long time since I roamed these hills, but not so long that I've forgotten my way. I'll go looking for him.
Oh, find him, Daniel, please. You must.
Of course, Mama. I'll do my best.
You're a good son. And a good brother.
Elisha! Can you hear me? Elisha! Elisha! Where are you? Can you hear me?
Hello there!
Oh.
Hello!
Elisha! Is that you?
It's me! Help! My back! Badly hurt! Help! Can't move!
Don't worry. I'm on the way. Just keep calling. I'll follow your voice. Keep calling.
Here I am. Here. Over here.
I can see you now. It's all right. I can see you now. Elisha, you... What are you doing here, Daniel? I told Mother... Oh, we can talk about that later. Let me help you. Let me get you home. Mother's worried. Help from you? I don't want your help. Oh, don't be a fool, Elisha. Here, let me help you. Is this the lamb you went searching for? That's the one. You're just like Father in that respect, Elisha. No lamb was ever allowed to suffer. But come, I'll get you home. Mother will be glad to see you. Here, let me help you up.
He's still sleeping in there, Daniel.
Yes, he's hurt. But I've seen men recover from worse. Yes, where I've been, I've seen everything.
And now you're leaving again.
Oh, there wouldn't be any peace for you if I stayed, Mama. You know Elisha. And maybe he's right. Maybe I have no right to come back and expect decent treatment from him. So I'd better go before he wakes.
If you have to go, go in peace, my son. And let me know everywhere you go. Someday things might change. Oh, Daniel.
Mama, please.
Mother?
Elisha's calling.
Go to him. He needs you now.
But wait.
No, Mama. Go to him. You'll hear from me someday. I promise. Goodbye. Mama?
Mother?
Yes, Elisha, I'm coming. I'm coming.
Mother, I was just...
Elisha, please lie still. You need rest now.
His voice. I heard Daniel's voice.
Please. He's gone now.
You mean he's left?
I did as you said, Elisha.
Then you must get him back.
Elisha, did I hear right? Did you say to bring him back?
Yes, Mother. While I was lying here, in pain, I had a chance to think. And I thought differently than I ever have before.
Oh, Elisha.
Last night in the darkness and the danger, I went seeking the lamb that was lost. I left the 99 that was safe and endangered my life for one that had strayed. I almost died to recover it. Yet when I found it, it meant more to me than all the others. So I thought, couldn't I do as much for my own brother?
Oh, Elisha. You can't know what it means to have my two sons together again. The two pillars of my house, even as your father said.
Go. Find it. Tell him that today you and I have recovered not one lost lamb, but two. Go, Mother. Go find my brother.
Well, Amos, has the master's parable any meaning for you? Can't you speak?
Peter, it's not easy for a man to say that he's been wrong.
It's not difficult if a man is honest and humble.
Then I think I've been neither, because I am wrong. I know what the master sought to tell me in his parable. And I know now why he welcomes sinners who have ceased to sin. For how else shall they change their ways if we don't help them and give them a chance to change? Master, I've been wrong. These sinners
They are as the lost land.
I say unto you that likewise joy shall be in heaven over one sinner that repenteth, more than over 99 just persons who need no repentance.
This program was brought to you by the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. Next week on this same network at this time, we'll present As Ye Would That Men Should Do to You. Another episode in the greatest story ever told from the greatest life ever lived. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.